What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 8FP 186. Capability Exchange. Yake was thinking on the spot, and everyone present was also waiting for Yake. It is not surprising that the ability user in normal state will not be ejected by the bear, but it seems that the bear is too perverted if it is directly ejected. Yake thought of the Battle of Usopp conferring the gods. After the sugar was stunned, the Devil Fruit ability product was automatically released, so Yake looked at Hancock. Hancock, wait a minute, I'm going to stun you with a little electricity, sigh. It's okay, I believe in you, as long as I can help you, I am willing to do anything. Hancock was sincere, and agreed without waiting for Yake to finish speaking. Yake didn't say much, understood Hancock's idea, took out the phone bug and prepared to call Rayleigh over. If Devil Fruit was involved, he had to ask Dark Fruit to help. Rayleigh, come to the research base, there's an experiment that needs your help. No problem Captain, I'll be right there. Rayleigh didn't ask any more questions, just hung up the phone, and immediately left for the research base. Wait a minute, Rayleigh will be here soon. Rayleigh? You mean the Dark Fruit ability user under your command? Hearing Raylaigh's name, Vegapunk was a little excited, and Yake gave him a strange look. Don't think about it, I won't let Rayleigh study it for you. Alright. Yake's words directly cut off Vegapunk's thoughts, making Vegapunk a little embarrassed. Captain, Sister Hancock, are you all there? What's the matter, what do you need me to do? Rayleigh came in a hurry and found that the atmosphere here seemed a little delicate. Rayleigh, wait and feel the Devil Fruit energy on Hancock, and see if it can be mobilized in a coma. Yake thought for a while before expressing his thoughts to Rayleigh. If this idea doesn't work. Yake looked at the Seastone essence in the storage bar and shook his head. Rayleigh is ready. Leave it to me, Captain. Hancock, it won't hurt very much, just treat it as sleep. Yake gently stroked Hancock's cheek with his fingertips, relieving her tension. It's okay, I'm not. Advertisement. It came to an abrupt end. Yake took advantage of Hancock's diversion of attention and stimulated Hancock's nerves a little, knocking her out, green, safe and pollution-free. Yake's expression tightened suddenly, and he nodded towards Rayleigh. Start. Rayleigh closed his eyes and felt the free energy around him with his heart. His hands became pitch black unconsciously, swimming regularly in the air. Captain, I feel the Devil Fruit energy of Hancock's sister, but it's not completely out of her body, I can only make them attract to the same position. Yake beamed and signaled Rayleigh to hit the free Devil Fruit energy on Hancock's palm. Great, Bear, try again. Shang Wenyan opened his flesh pads and patted Hancock's palm lightly. Boom. Captain, I feel it. After the bear shot, Rayleigh found that the energy had left Hancock's body and was floating in the air, just like the energy released after killing a person with abilities. Rayleigh gathered the free energy in his hands with ease, and his eyes signaled Yake to take out the fruit as a container for Devil Fruit. Oh, right now. Yake took out a bunch of fresh fruits from the storage bar and displayed them on the floor, all kinds of them. Vegapunk watched Rayleigh's operation intently, and muttered, It's amazing, it's amazing. Rayleigh finally chose a round red fruit, not an apple, a fruit that Yake bought casually, and never asked the name. The energy of Devil Fruit was stuffed by Rayleigh, and slowly, the red fruit turned into pink, and the pattern resembled a heart. So it is. Is this the secret of Devil Fruit's rebirth? This is definitely a big discovery. Vegapunk was startled, but Rayleigh was taken aback. Please, Dr. Vegapunk, don't get so excited. Yake gave Vegapunk a blank look, basic F***K, don't 6. Miss Rayleigh, right? I don't know if you are interested in assisting me in the experiment. I have a hunch that as long as I have you, I will be able to crack all the secrets of Devil Fruit. Vegapunk stared at Rayleigh with bright eyes, wishing he could immediately pull Rayleigh away for experimentation. Rayleigh walked away from Vegapunk in embarrassment. I only listened to the captain. Vegapunk turned his head to look at Yake. Yake smiled and nodded at him. Vegapunk was very pleased. It still depends on Yake at the critical moment. I disagree. Advertisement? AW opening parenthesis D, W. We'll see when the time comes. Let's see what happens to Hancock now. Yake waved his hand, telling Vegapunk to move away. Z tilde. A current as thin as a gossamer drilled into Hancock's brain, and Hancock gradually woke up under the influence of the weak current. Hancock was a little confused. Yake, did you succeed? That's right, Hancock, you succeeded. You are no longer a sweet fruit user. Yake happily picked up Hancock, took out a piece of common sea stone and put it in Hancock's hand. Yake patted the bear's belly. The bear is 6 meters tall, and it was too much effort for Yake to pat him on the shoulder. Really? Ha 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 ha. How come? I told you that you are a natural beauty. Your charm has not changed at all. Shang's expression didn't change at all, as stable as Mount Tai. Closer to home. I declare the Devil Fruit live extraction experiment a great success. Thank you, Bear. Hancock gave Yake a coquettish white look, and his face turned red, as if remembering something inappropriate for children. This is a strategic ability. Yake knows that Shang's heart is still tied to the Revolutionary Army, and now Shang's ability can no longer be viewed from a conventional perspective. You're welcome, it's just a matter of raising your hands. Seeing that Hancock was about to speak the words of tiger and wolf, Yake had to interrupt her. This occasion may not be suitable. Hancock exclaimed, suddenly remembered something, covered his face, and looked at Yake pitifully. Has the concubine become ugly? Tell the concubine, I can bear it. Cough cough cough. Yake whispered in Hancock's ear, try it tonight. Shang, I have contacted Dorag just now, and he is waiting for you at the base of the new Revolutionary Army in Bye High. Look, Seastone has no effect on you at all. Yake let out a barbell-like laugh, and took out a mirror to face Hancock. Hancock looked at the mirror for a long time before confirming that his appearance had not declined at all, and he finally breathed a sigh of relief. Great yak, we can be in the water. 187. Taylor Nan says goodbye. Thank you, Lord Yake, I happen to have something to do with Dorag. Shang leaned over to pay tribute to Yake, and disappeared in front of Yake with a sound of, "Bo." Yake. This operation seems familiar. Everyone has left, there is nothing to stay in this place. Under Vegapunk's resentful eyes, Yake walked out of the research base with his arms around Rayleigh and Hancock's waist. Hancock, I'll come to you again tonight, it's definitely a different experience, hee. Yake took a sip of his saliva, kissed Hancock on the cheek, and left Hydra Island. Hancock watched Jacques go away obsessively, and looked at the basically unused swimming pool in the palace. Quick! Clean up this place for the Eye family, also, everyone is not allowed to go near the palace tonight. As soon as Yake left, Hancock immediately returned to the appearance of the Queen, proudly raised his head. God-dwelling. Knock knock. Come in. Taylor Nan walked into Yake's office slowly holding Ghost Cry, and looked at Yake indifferently, not because he disrespected Yake, but because he had always looked like this, and Yake was used to it. R.O., it looks like you're ready. This is the first time that Luo came to find him alone. Jacques always remembered Luo's goal, to kill Doflamingo, and Jacques saw his hard work in the past few years. Compared with Luo who became Shichibukai in the original book, his strength is not what it used to be. He has a proficient in solid armament hockey, a freely retractable observation hockey, a strong physique, and Op fruit has also awakened. As long as Luo is willing, he can perform the Eternal Life operation at any time, but the Arc Pirates have a pile of pure gold, so it seems that it is not necessary. Luo looked at Yake with confidence. Captain, I'm going to Dressrosa Island. I have 100% confidence to kill Doflamingo, and I alone will be enough. Yake smiled. Luo, I believe you have the strength to kill Dover, but he still has family cadres, you can't deal with their entire family alone. This is exactly the reason why I came. I have asked Crocodile, Jinbei, and Fanoka to help me block Dover's men and create a chance for me to single out Dover. I hope the captain can approve it. Yake nodded. It seems that Luo has not been dazed by revenge, although this lineup is a bit bullying. Yake doesn't want his crew to have accidents. Yake always believes that only by living can he output. No problem, I approved it, but there is still a task for you. Yake suddenly remembered that the Straw Hat crew made a big fuss in Saboti yesterday, and it should be on the Fishman Island now, which means that Kid Momonosuke will show up soon. Advertisement, Captain, what mission? I want you to go to Punk Hazard and find a kid with Momonosuke in his name. He's there, and he's accompanied by a man named Firefox Kinnaman. They're all dressed up as samurai, so they're easy to identify. Yake stretched his waist and said lazily, when you find them, notify me immediately, do you understand? No problem, Captain, I'm off then. Luo turned around and was about to leave, but Yake stopped him again. Wait a minute, if you meet a scientist named Geisa, remember to catch him, he's kind of smart. Guy Scatter. I see. Luo silently read Guy's name, and left without looking back. Angel Island. Luo, did the captain agree? Anna concentrated on licking her palms and smoothing her fur, and only took the time to ask when she saw Luo coming. Well, the captain has already agreed, so please ask Anna to take us to New World. Luo took out a dried deep-sea fish and handed it to Anna as travel expenses, and Anna took it into his pocket without any hesitation. Don't worry, Meow, Anna is fast and steady, get on board. Luo boarded the long-lost polar diving, followed by Bibo, Jinbei, Fanoka, and Sand Crocodile. Just go to New World, right? That's right, New World will do, Anna. After Anna confirmed, she stepped on the polar diving, one cat and one boat went straight to the sky and flew towards New World. This kind of work is easy and not tiring. If Anna had to go to school, she would rather be a captain and fly around with ships or things. Yake took Reiju to the base of the Revolutionary Army in the Kingdom of God in the sky. Ha ha ha, welcome, welcome, Lord Yake is coming for the first time. Before getting close to Yake, I heard Drago's voice. The bear stood beside Drago like an iron tower, and Sabo was like a little transparent. It's okay, the place you chose is quite secret. No one knows business bragging better than advertisement. Your Excellency Yake, I invite you and Ms. Reiju here this time to take out my devil fruit ability, and I want to give this ability to Sabo. Mr. Dorag. Drago patted Sabo on the shoulder without speaking, waiting for Yake's opinion. Sabo, is he your chosen next leader of the Revolutionary Army? Yake understood what Drago meant, and it seemed that Drago was very optimistic about Sabo's ability to make a difference. That's right, Faith, Strength, and Sabo are all suitable in every aspect, and my ability is very suitable for him. Dorag, what ability do you have, Climate Fruit? Jacques has never fought against Drago before. I can only guess from the anime works I watched before. Drago's strength has always been a mystery. The only impressive thing is a shot from the execution platform in Logue Town. Is it Drago? There is still a question mark on the power? Drago shook his head and said with a smile, ha ha ha, Mr. Yake is too worried. I am a Logia wind fruit capable person, which is why the comrades with me will wear goggles. Wind fruit. Interesting. The fruit of Dorag is the wind fruit. Using the fruit ability during combat will affect the team member's sight, So everyone wears goggles to cooperate in combat, and because it is their own ability, they don't need to wear them at all. Yake didn't ask too much, anyway, he wasn't very interested, it was just devil fruit, as long as he wanted it, what fruit couldn't he get? Then Dorag, you should know how to operate. Well, the bear has already told me, let's do it, Lord Yake, we are allies. Dorag deliberately emphasized the last two words, and Yake smiled without saying a word. Yake nodded and signaled to Rayleigh to prepare, and Drago didn't have any resistance, and Yake easily stunned Drago. Okay, let's get started. Yake woke up Drago, and had a light blue devil fruit in his hand, and threw it to Drago indifferently. Here you go, just this time, next time you will have to pay haha. Yake put his arms around Rayleigh and turned to leave. Eat it, Sabo. The dragon didn't miss it, and threw the devil fruit to Sabo. Well, Mr. Dorag, 188. Raftel Overhaul 9 Snake Island. The palace looked deserted tonight, except for the brightly lit swimming pool. There is no one on the surface of the water, but there is an undercurrent under the water. Bababobo tilde. A burst of bubbles burst out of the water and exploded in the air, making an inaudible sound, and two figures quickly surfaced. Ah tilde Yake, I didn't expect it to feel like this in the water. Hancock, who had regained his swimming ability, was a little excited. He lay on Yake's chest, his face flushed, panting continuously, and the fragrance was like blue. Yake patted Hancock on the shoulder to calm her down. In order to exercise Hancock's lung capacity, Yake paid a lot. This is probably the daily life of Yake and Hancock, but it is not normal. The next day. Hancock, this fruit is for you, soul fruit, I need your strength. Yake took out the soul fruit from the storage bar, which is one of the key abilities to kill IM, and he can only rest assured if he eats it for someone close to him. Well, I listen to you. Hancock took a bite without hesitation, turned into a landlubber again, gently raised Hancock's arm, and the surrounding flowers, plants and trees were endowed with souls by her. Queen. Queen. The flowers, plants and trees grew cute smiling faces one by one, scrambling to greet Hancock, treating her as a real queen. It feels good, Yake, I will seriously develop the fruit ability and try to help you as soon as possible. Hancock has a serious face, and regards the development of fruit ability as his top priority. Yake touched Hancock's head to show his encouragement, and told Hancock some of his understanding of soul fruit when he was fighting with Big Mom, a little detour. Yake returned to Shenju and went straight into the treasure house. This is where Yark keeps his treasures. If other pirates enter this place, they will mistakenly think that this is Raftel. Advertisement gold here is only the most basic property, and more are all kinds of gems, cultural relics, etc. The whole treasure house is full of the atmosphere of local tyrants. But today Yaklai took these treasures away. Robin has fabricated a more reasonable, false historical text that is quite unfavorable to the world government. It is time for Raftel to reform. With a wave of his hand, all the treasures were put into the storage bar by Yake, and the jeweled treasure house instantly became empty, leaving only a dozen lampshells that silently glowed white. Robin, Anna, we elbow. Everything was ready, and the three set off directly to Raftel, and thanks to the pointer provided by Bullet, they flew in the direction recorded by the pointer. The final island, Raftel. Captain, are you sure you have been here? It seems that no one has been here for a long time. Robin was indeed a little excited at first, but soon calmed down. After all, she already knew all the history, so she began to examine this so-called final island. After careful observation, it is not difficult to find that no one has been here for a long time. Robin measured the footprints and other traces, and preliminarily judged that these should be left by Roger's Landing at that time, but could not find any recent traces. So Robin looked at Yake suspiciously. Ahahaha, this captain doesn't need to walk, don't you know? It's too fake, I hope you won't be eaten by birds when you fly that day. Yake. Robin gave Yake a blank look, turned to look at the historical text on Raftel, and found that it was exactly the same as the one Yake brought back, so he didn't speak anymore. Okay, let's start the transformation now. Yake first put the real historical text into the storage bar, so Raftel became a veritable desert island with nothing left. Anna, please come and plow the field. Yake told Anna his idea, and asked Anna to transform the terrain here according to the style he imagined. The terrain of Raftel changed freely under Anna's control. After the transformation was completed, it was almost unrecognizable, and it became what the world imagined. Those with lion fruit ability are strong. She did all the work that required hundreds of cows and horses by herself, and only needed a small dried fish. Yake nodded with satisfaction, very satisfied with his thoughts. Advertisement: there is a huge cave in the center of Raftel, which is strangely rugged and exudes an ominous atmosphere. As we all know, the more such a place is, the more likely it is to hide treasures. So reasonable, however, the cave was empty, there was nothing, and the ground was covered with broken stones. Yake first took out the historical text stele fabricated by Robin from the storage column, 2 large pieces. Yake randomly placed it in the center of the cave, and now only treasures are needed to decorate it. These gems will trouble you, Anna. Yake took out a hill of gemstones and diamonds in different colors, which were worth a lot at first glance. Yake vaguely remembered that the gems in a certain work in Blue Star were inlaid inside the cave, and Yake was going to reproduce it. Leave it to Anna Meow. Under Anna's control, a bunch of precious stones flew around, messily inlaid on the ground in the inner wall of the cave, reflecting the light of the torches, and the whole cave suddenly felt like a treasure trove. Yake gave Anna a thumbs up. Captain, is this really good? I think. Robin always felt a little weird. As a genuine historian, he witnessed Yake's falsification of history. Hey Tilda, don't you see that this is very in line with people's imagination of Raftel? As long as this news is given to that Birdman Morgans, everyone in the world will believe that I have found Raftel. Yake said indifferently, thinking silently in his heart, except for the Roger pirates. Well, whatever you want, who called you the captain? Robin helplessly covered his forehead and gave up the treatment. The last step, gold. How can there be gems without gold? Otherwise, this Raftel looks a bit too shabby. Yake put a lot of gold handicrafts in the cave, and the whole cave was shining under the golden light reflected by the gold, which almost blinded Yake's titanium alloy dog eyes. The interior of the cave has been decorated, and the next step is the exterior. Yake held his chin and thought for a while. By the way, the exterior looks too ordinary, and we should add more materials. Lay metallurgy. People imagine that Raftel's treasure can buy the whole world. The inside of the cave is not exciting enough, but the cave is almost full, so we can only think about it outside. And so several hollow mountains of gold landed on Raftel. Now Yake is really satisfied. 189. Official completion. After working for a while, Yake clapped his hands. In addition to the golden mountain, Yake deliberately made a few pieces of exposed gold skin on the ground, giving people the illusion that the entire island is gold. Ha ha ha, this is a bit of a taste, the biggest treasure in the world. Raftel magic revision, officially completed. Yake laughed vigorously, and Robin and Anna clapped their hands with a half smile. Very nice. Yake took out a videophone bug. The videophone bug is used to record video or live broadcast. There is no need for live broadcast. Yake can create a false video record. Come out. Eternal truth. Yake took out the eternal truth that hadn't been launched for a long time on the coast. The Raftel exploration tour has officially started shooting. Yake and Anna stood at the bow, looking into the distance, while Robin was the photographer. Her ability to shoot from multiple angles can be called a humanoid studio. Anna, excitedly, pulled Yake's skirt and shouted, Captain, is that the legendary final island, Raftel? Yake touched Anna's head, took out the Raftel eternal record pointer and looked at it. That's right, that's it, I finally found it, hard work pays off. Yake squeezed out 2 tears from the corner of his eyes. Robin gave the pointer a close-up, and then the camera turned to Raftel, taking a panoramic view. That's Raftel, we are the Ark Pirates, after our tireless efforts, we finally found it. Robin's voice without the slightest emotion came. How could there be no voiceover in the documentary? Now, we're going to log into Raftel. Captain, my god. Look, there's gold everywhere, I'm not dreaming. Anna was so excited that she almost lost her voice. Touched here, look there, she was so dedicated. Yake quietly gave a thumbs up, as expected of you, Anna. Robin curled her lips. It's too fake, too embarrassing, but fortunately she doesn't need to appear on camera, otherwise Reiju will definitely laugh to death. Robin's voiceover. Here are some mountains made of gold, and a strange cave. Is the legendary secret treasure hidden in that place? Advertisement. Robin gave 3-second close-ups of the gold mountains, and caves on the ground, and finally fixed directly at the entrance of the dark cave. Anna, let's go to the cave and take a look. Roger's big secret treasure must be there. Yake pointed directly at the entrance of the cave and led Anna slowly into the cave. Dang tilde dang tilde dang tilde. The light shells in the cave light up one by one, showing the inside of the cave. Anna covered her mouth in disbelief, and her pupils almost narrowed into a line. Oh my god. This, Captain, we are rich. After speaking, Anna passed out directly. Yake put his arms around Anna. Anna, be sober, alas, it seems too excited, and passed out. Robin's voiceover. The chef of the Ark Pirates, Mooncat. Anna was so excited that she fainted from excitement. Robin gave a close-up of the interior of the cave, and turned the camera around the interior of Yake's elaborately decorated cave, letting people take a look at this luxurious big secret treasure, and finally the camera fell on the historical text stele in the center of the treasure. Anna's role was completed, and while the camera was on Yake, she flew to Robin's side, and Yake's one-man show was next. This is the stone tablet that records the main text of history. Robin, please translate it. Robin's voiceover. The main text of history records the truth of 100 years that has disappeared. Only a few people in the world can understand its meaning, and I happen to be one of them. The world government found evidence of O'Hara Island's research on the taboo history of the blank 100 years, so it launched a buster call to destroy the entire island. And I, O'Hara's orphan, Nico Robin, the son of the devil, is the only survivor of the O'Hara incident. Speaking of this, Robin's tone was a little sad. Next, I'm going to start translating the historical text left by Raftel. The world government obtained the supreme power through despicable means. Celestial dragons are just like us, they're just ordinary human beings. They're not creators at all, let alone gods, but descendants of despicable people, that's all. After translating the false historical text, Robin felt a little thirsty, and Jacques also saw it. After a long silence, he finally started his performance. Robin, thank you for your hard work, then leave it to me. With so much treasure, I am afraid that Roger, the One Piece King, only took a little bit of it back then. Yake picked up a bunch of gold handicrafts and put them in front of the camera and made a crazy guess. Advertisement. I estimate that the value of these treasures is at least about 800 billion berries, not counting the gold mountain on this island and the gold hidden in the ground. It seems that we have already obtained the largest treasure in the world. Ha 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 ha. The scene stopped abruptly and the shooting ended. Phew, it's finally over. Robin, how am I doing? Captain, I don't know, I really don't know. Captain, are we leaving? Now that we are in Raftel, it is reasonable and logical to vacate this place. These treasures are used to deceive people, and of course they must be taken back after the deception is over. The Raftel that had just been remodeled was devastated by Anna again. It was like being bitten by a dog. There were ruins everywhere, and a little bit of gold was scattered here and there, giving the people who came later a little sweetness. Anna happily took it, and shot at Raftel for a while. Anna, renovate this place, it's the kind of potholes. Yake took out a camera phone bug, which is much smaller than the video phone bug, portable and has a camera function. The golden mountains and the like were melted into gold bricks, and together with the treasures, they were put into the storage bar by Yake. Well, now all that remains of Raftel is the cave where the historical texts are stored and some gems that were deliberately omitted. The island is no longer useful, and Yak is planning to choose a time to reveal its location to the world. Let's take some pictures. Keep a record so others know we vacated Raftel. Lay metallurgy. That's it, handmade. Anna, ship everything to me, except for the historical text. Yes, Captain. Robin smiled half-smile, but he was afraid of hitting Yake, or Yake would have to reshoot or something. It was too troublesome. The Raftel Discovery Tour wraps up. Anna seemed to be a little bit unhappy. She finally didn't have to go to school today. She had a good time. 190. Momonosuke appears punk hazard. After Straw Hat Crew came to New World, they made waves on this island. Luo has been cooperating with Straw Hat Crew just to catch Geisa, and then wait for the person Yake is looking for to appear. That's great, Kinnaman-san, I thought. Brook breathed a sigh of relief. He thought he had killed Kinnaman by mistake, but unexpectedly he just broke the white shell that wrapped Kinnaman, and Kinnaman himself was fine. At this time, Momonosuke, who was hiding in the corner, heard Kinnaman's name and poked his head out quietly. The familiar decoration, the scruffy beard, the smug expression, that's right, it's definitely Kinnaman. Father. In order not to reveal his identity, Momonosuke and Kinnaman have always been referred to as father and son. Kinnaman's pupils shrank to a point of origin, and he stared blankly at Momonosuke with tears glistening in the corners of his eyes. Peach, Momonosuke. Father, father. As soon as he saw an acquaintance, Momonosuke couldn't control his tears anymore. His small mouth shrunk, and he was about to burst into tears. Father. Momonosuke. The two hugged each other tightly, talking heartily to each other, and tears flowed like money. This child is the Momonosuke Mr. Kinnaman has been looking for. Brooke suddenly remembered what Kinnaman said before and suddenly understood. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Momonosuke, why are your clothes so torn? Kinnaman put a stone on Momonosuke's head, muttering something. As expected of a man from Wanokuni, he really fits in a kimono. Ha ha ha. But, father, how did you find this place? Gugulu tilde. Before he finished speaking, Momonosuke's stomach began to resist, and he fainted on the spot from hunger and fell to the ground. Momonosuke. Are you okay? Advertisement. Kinnaman quickly checked Momonosuke's situation, only to realize that the child was hungry. Momonosuke. Brook joined the Straw Hat Crew after they left the Kingdom of Sky God. He didn't know much about the mission that Jacques entrusted to him. Luffy. Don't say anything. In Sanji's mind, Yake's words in the God of Sky Kingdom sounded at that time, as if Yake wanted this kid's life, right? Sanji took a deep look at Momonosuke and Kinnaman, but didn't speak, but smoked one cigarette after another. Sanji felt that although Kinnaman was a bit pedantic, he helped them a lot anyway, and what he didn't expect was that Momonosuke was just a child, so it was unnecessary, right? Yake. When the time comes, you wish to kill him with your own hands. No matter what, Sanji decided to take it one step at a time. He couldn't make a move at will, and he had to discuss with everyone how to deal with this kid. New S********* boxing profound technique 99 life recipes, the revitalizing agent that can heal the frozen and tired body. See pork hormone soup. If you haven't eaten for a few days, you should take a sip of the soup first and then eat slowly. Seeing that everyone was hungry, Sanji showed off his cooking skills, but the name was weird. Maybe he was infected by Ivankov. Momonosuke looked at a table full of dishes and swallowed his saliva. His eyes were bloodshot. He wanted to eat very much, but he didn't trust Straw Hat Crew, so he suppressed his hunger. Aren't you hungry, Peach? Sanji's cooking is the most delicious. Luffy licked his lips with his tongue, salivating, and wanted to seduce Momonosuke by the way. No, don't. I won't be hungry at all next time. Momonosuke lifted the bowl full of soup high up, as if to smash it into pieces. Sanji didn't want to waste food, so he grabbed Momonosuke by the collar. Stop. What do you want to do with that bowl? If you dare to spoil the food, even if you are a brat, I will not spare you. If you say no, you don't want it, Gu Lu tilde. Momonosuke's stomach growled again. Look, my stomach is growling. You heard me wrong. I'm not hungry at all next time. I will never eat these things. Momonosuke made a gesture to throw away the food. Sanji panicked. Stop. Start. Wow tilde, it's so delicious. What's going on? The power keeps coming up. What a delicious dish. Remember the grace of a meal. In fact, they also saved my life this time. These people can be trusted. Advertisement. Kinnaman set an example for Momonosuke, who wanted to save face. Father. Can. Trust. Momonosuke, who was hung up by Sanji, stared at Kinnaman in a daze. Maka's password was slowly unlocked. I haven't eaten anything until today. It's been hard work. It must be very hard, right? It's already fine. I believe they will be safe too. Well, let's live, Momonosuke. Sanji heard the words and put Momonosuke down, and the only response to Kinemon was the growl of Momonosuke's stomach. Kinemon has said so, if you don't eat it, you won't give face, so Momoji's assistant is really delicious. Luo stood on the heights and watched Momonosuke and Kinemon on the ground, showing a meaningful smile, and dialed Yake's phone. Hey tilde head of Yake, I'm Luo, I found Momonosuke and Kinemon, and Geisa has already arrested him. Head, do you want to come over? Really? Great, they're still on the Straw Hat Crew's boat, aren't they? Keep an eye on them and find a way to get them to Zou, I'll wait for them there. Yake was overjoyed, but suddenly remembered that Jack was going to attack Zou soon, and Yake had to go there in advance to prevent Anna's family from being killed by Jack. Yes, Captain, I'll keep an eye on them. Luo hung up the phone, joined the Straw Hat Pirates, took a deep look at Kinemon, and continued to maintain his cold state. Hey tilde master of the Straw Hat, it's not suitable to stay here for a long time. If you continue to eat and drink leisurely like this, the pursuers will arrive soon. Yeah? Go and talk to your companions. Okay, got it? Seeing Luffy cooperate so well, Luo breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that this kid is not that stupid. Had the captain lied to him? I saw Luffy jumping onto the bow with a serious face. Hey, brothers, the pursuers are coming soon, so. Luffy was handsome for less than 3 seconds, and his expression returned to normal. So, hurry up. The banquet is starting. Luo. W opening parenthesis D. W. Now I regret it, quite regret it, why didn't I listen to Yake's words? Luo took a deep breath and tried to calm himself down. Jinbei, Crocodile and others had just left for Dressrosa ahead of schedule. If he wanted to monitor Momonosuke and Kinemon, he had to take Luffy's boat. Thinking of this, Luo couldn't help thinking silently in his heart. If the heart is clear, the sky will not be shocked. 191. Anna's homecoming, the kingdom of God in the sky, the residence of God. Giving the task to Luo, Yake was very relieved. He only needed to wait for Momonosuke to come to Zou. In the original book, the Straw Hat Crew were driven all the way to Zou by the ant, up. I hope Momonosuke won't be ignorant. Yake took out Tensa Zangetsu, which has not been used for a long time. I am a little sorry for its name if I don't use it to chop Momosuke. Yakusama. When are we going to Zou Miao? Hearing that she was going to Zou, Anna didn't cook and went directly to Yake to find out. Leave after dinner, Robin and Reiju seem to be going too, let's cook. Yake touched Anna's head, trying to calm her excited heart, trembling claws. Unexpectedly, Anna rushed into the kitchen in a hurry, and started cooking in a hurry, with the help of lion fruit. It was not too simple. 10 minutes later, Anna started calling everyone over for dinner. Yake. Is this the temptation to go home? The eternal truth was advancing rapidly in the air, and Anna took the initiative to take on the responsibility of the navigator, mainly relying on her mother's lifecard, staring at the movement range of the lifecard intently. Captain, I heard that Zou is a country that lives on the back of the elephant owner. I am more curious about how they obtain food. After all, the elephant owner is at least 10,000 meters tall in the records. It is impossible to go to the sea every day to obtain food. Reiju looked at the books and asked curiously. She likes some anecdotes in other books, and she likes to read them when she has nothing to do. Due to the lack of accumulation of historical knowledge, she only reads them as stories. Yake smiled and pulled Robin to his side. Haha, Reiju, you can ask Robin, she must know. It's very simple. Zou's fur tribe is like a parasite on the elephant owner's body. They eat and drink thanks to the seawater sprayed by the elephant owner every day. Robin is succinct and concise, and the fact is true. The reason why it is said to be parasitic is that the fur tribe and the elephant owner live together. The fur tribe is the beneficiary, and the elephant owner provides the fur tribe with nutrients and a place to live. Yake suddenly thought of something, and turned to look at Anna. Anna, who was the Duke when you left the furry principality? Advertisement. Well, let me think about it. When I was young, I was Duke Khan the goat, and later I became Duke Yamato Inuarashi, the cat viper. They are the Lord of the Night and the Lord of the Day respectively. Anna scratched her head for a while before giving a definite answer. Captain, if I remember correctly, Roger's crew seems to have a cat and a dog, right? Could it be the cat viper and Inuarashi that Anna mentioned? Robin directly transformed an arm, took out an unofficial history that recorded the deeds of One Piece Roger in the cabin, and turned to the corresponding page to confirm. Yake said lightly. That's right, 2 kings who are not competent at all. Cat Viper and Inuarashi made the furry principality appear in a situation of 1 country and 2 kings. The king, the lord of a country, the first goal is to be responsible for his own people. Putting aside the fact that the small grievances between the 2 of them split the country, they actually sacrificed countless people for Lei Zhang. Perhaps the connection between Zou and Wano Kuni is quite deep, but it is not to this extent at all. After all, Zou and Wano Kuni are just brothers, not Wano Kuni's slaves. The reason Nekobamushi and Inuarashi did this is because Raizo is Oden's vassal just like them, but Zou's innocent people are not Oden's vassal. Yake thought that if he killed Momonosuke, he would definitely turn his face against the cat viper Inuarashi, and by the way, he would kill all Oden's retainers, and then move Zou to the kingdom of Sky God, and let Anna be Zou's king. Let Mamushi and Inuarashi go to hell. Fantasy Island, Zou. The Beast's pirates invaded this country, and one of the 3 major signs of the Beast's pirates led by them, Drought Jack. Jack fought non-stop with the 2 kings of the Fur Clan, Inuarashi and Cat Viper, in a wheel battle mode for 4 days and 3 nights. Jack has a bad temper and is very reckless. Although a cat and a dog are not his opponents, they can keep fighting with him, which makes him more and more annoyed. You damn old dog, Lousy must make you into dog meat hotpot. Jack pulled out the shorter knife, which was placed on the back of his neck, two weapons shaped like a straight knife on his lower body and a sickle on his upper body. Starting a new round of fighting, there were basically no scars on his body, but Inulan was not in a good condition, and his body was covered with bandages. This is where Zone's ability users are stupid. Although Nekobashi and Inuarashi surpass Jack in terms of attack strength, they cannot be fatal, leading to a stalemate in the battle. If Inuarashi and Neko Mamushi had cooperated on the first day, Jack might have been repelled, but... Advertisement, are you still not giving up? I told you that the warrior you were looking for is not here. Fart your mother, Lousy won't believe it. Jack's eyes were as big as copper bells, and he obviously didn't believe a word of Inulan's words. Anyway, if the Kaido boss said that there are samurai here, there must be one. At this time, the eternal truth has already flown over the Elephant Lord. What's the matter? Zoe has been invaded. Damn it, Anna is angry meow. Anna was very homesick, and when she saw her hometown in flames of war, she immediately blew up. She flew directly off the eternal truth and rushed to the center of the battle. Anna, wait for us, this child. Robin shook her head helplessly, but she wasn't worried that Anna would be in danger. After all, the captain was here, and the most dangerous enemy was not the captain's opponent. Damn. It's you, a big stupid elephant, who destroyed my hometown, meow, unforgivable. Chow Wei Bai meow start the pot and burn the oil. Anna gave a coquettish cry, and the ruins of the house became an overwhelming wave, hitting Jack. Such a big movement caught the attention of Jack and Inulan. Jack saw that he was coming at him, and immediately transformed into a mammoth form, protecting key parts with his nose, and escaped. Impossible. That, it seems to be. Inulan looked at the white Anna from a distance. Although he couldn't see the face clearly, he could confirm that he was from the fur tribe, but as far as he knew, the fur tribe didn't seem to be so strong, right? Garrett in the woods squinted his eyes to look at the sky, and suddenly became excited. Oh. It's Sister Anna's head. She's back, Sister Wanda. I won't admit it wrong, it's definitely Sister Anna's head. Garrett held Wanda's hand and jumped up and down, unable to hold back the excitement in his heart. He never expected that at the critical moment, Sister Anna's head came back, in her impression. Sister Anna is an eternal god. 192. Jack dies suddenly. Bang tilde wow tilde. Jack swept away the ruins with his tough nose, broke free from Anna's confinement, and looked fiercely at Anna in the air. Little devil. You are so brave, you have the guts to repay your life. Let's see if Lousy doesn't take off your tinling cover. Jack didn't have the ability to fly, so he could only stare blankly on the ground, rolled up the stone with his nose and threw it at Anna, but the stone rebelled before it got close to Anna, and went back the same way, and Jack smashed it with his nose angrily. Idiot. You are dying meow. I am Anna, the chef of the Ark Pirates. The captain is in Zoe, you are finished. Anna leisurely flew in the air and brought out Yake's name. After all, the name of the new world god Yake is the loudest now, and the limelight of the crew of the Ark Pirates was covered up instead. Anna, who offered a bounty of 5,000 Bailey, is even more unknown, although the 5 elders hate her so much. Yak. Jack immediately shivered. Although he was not afraid of anything, he had heard of a ruthless person like Jacques who killed 4 emperors in a day, but he couldn't admit it, otherwise how would his subordinates think of him? What do you guys think of him? What does Kaido think of him? What the hell? Who do you think Lousy is? Jack said his mantra very forcefully, rolled up a pile of rocks and threw them at Anna, otherwise it would be too embarrassing to speak harshly dryly. Idiot, come here knowing it's useless. Anna pointed her finger at Jack in a circle, and the stone went back the same way. Then Anna opened her palm and lifted it up as if she was holding something. A smile appeared on the corner of her mouth and she looked at Jack, and it fell heavily. Chow Wei Bai meow simmering on fire. Countless stones surround Jack, which looks like a pressure cooker with a lid on from the outside, and the stones are constantly replenished into the cauldron. Jack inside is miserable. He is just a walnut in a walnut machine. He is constantly impacted by stones, and he can't escape at all, so he can only defend passively. As a last resort, Jack can only use the strongest human beast form to resist wave after wave of stone bullets. Anna stretched her waist and looked at the time. It has been almost 10 minutes, enough. In just 10 minutes, Jack suffered at least tens of thousands of stone impacts, and now he is covered with scars. The fruit ability is constantly repairing his injuries, and his physical strength is rapidly exhausted. He felt that this was more tiring than fighting with Inuarashi Katmamushi, but Anna did not let him go. The stone buried Jack, only one head was exposed, and Jack was firmly imprisoned in the sarcophagus, unable to move. Advertisement, hey, you're not dead yet. UB**************** D is really resistant to beating, HMPH. Anna won't forgive you, just stay with me. Anna pursed her lips, and a pile of rocks buried Jack completely, trying to smother Jack to death. Perhaps, this is the bounty of thousands of Baileys hitting more than 1 billion. Anna, who occupies the air supremacy, beating Jack is like a mother beating her son. Kaido and Jin would be dead. Jack was even more furious, and the stone pile that imprisoned him trembled uncontrollably, like a volcano about to erupt. Who do you think Lousy is? Lousy is Jack the Drow. With a roar, Jack knocked the rocks off his body, revealing his muscular body, with his chest rising and falling. He didn't know whether it was from anger or tiredness. Gangner's spear slash. A thunder spear pierced through Jack's heart, and the thunder and lightning scorched Jack's heart. As simple as Jack knew, he was killed today. Lousy is dying of pain. Damn Yake. Jack held Stormpike, resisted the pain and pulled him out of his chest, spilling a large amount of bright red blood on the rough ground. "Boss Jack. Are you okay?" Jin Rami and a group of subordinates hurried forward to check Jack's situation, and gave Yake a fearful look. "Quick, use the poisonous gas weapon the guy sprinkled, Lousy will die with them today." Jack yelled at Jin Rami. He was going to use this as the trump card to destroy Zoe, but now he can only use it first. "Really? Do you want to use that? Don't talk nonsense, play it to Lousy." Jin Rami nodded like a quail, and seeing that Yake, who was the most threatening, had no intention of stopping him, he left quickly. "Jack, you don't think you can fight me with gas, do you?" "No, no." Yake kicked Jack away, jumped onto his chest, and looked down at the unwilling Jack. "Ho tilde, so what? The boss will avenge me, Lousy is not afraid of death." When Jack was about to die, he wanted to maintain his toughness. Seeing this, Jacques shook his head and took out Tensa Zangetsu. "Advertisement, what a man, then I will give you a happy death." Yake jumped high, and Tensa Zangetsu stabbed directly between Jack's eyebrows until it penetrated the ground. Jack struggled for a while, and finally regained his composure, closing his eyes forever. Blue Brew tilde. Jack's phone rings. "Hey, Jack, I heard Jin Rami said that you encountered Yake in Zoe. Get the hell out of Lousy, you are no match for him." Yake looked at the simulated image of the phone bug, and it was Kaido who was right. "I'm Yake, Jack was killed by me just now, what are you talking about?" Kaido. "Wow woo woo woo, Jack, you be asterisk 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 D, why did you die? Damn Yake, Lousy is no match for you." Kaido was full of grief and anger, crying and angry, wishing to smash Yake to pieces immediately. Jack was his youngest and most promising subordinate, although he was a little reckless, but he was young and powerful, very respectful to him appetite. "Are you declaring war on me?" Yake grinned, looking very happy. "That's right, starting today, the Beast's pirates and the Ark pirates are officially at war. Either you die or I die." Yake calmly said to the phone bug. "Okay, wait for me at Wanokuni, I have never been afraid of war." Yake hung up the phone, looked at the poisonous fog in front of him, and showed a disdainful smile. "Reiju, please." Reiju came slowly, and gave Yake a wink. "Little kiss, leave it to me, the captain." Dark Uzumaki. Reiju's pitch-black pair threw two clouds of black mist, which evolved into a huge Uzumaki in the air, constantly attracting the poisonous mist. Under Reiju's precise control, the black hole would only absorb the overwhelming poisonous mist. Inulan was dumbfounded. What happened? After 3 days and 3 nights, the opponent who was about to fight on the 4th day suddenly disappeared. So what was he doing a few days ago? Inulan took a look at Anna, thinking that fortunately they are not enemies, otherwise they would have no resistance at all. They are so powerful that it makes people despair. 193. Anna and Gallant Anna landed on the ground and stood beside Jake. You are Anna, damn it, I should have thought of it earlier." The more Inulan watched, the more familiar he felt. After racking his brains and thinking, he immediately recognized Anna. There were only a few clansmen who left Zoe to venture out, and they could be counted on their fingers, but Anna had changed too much. Inulan couldn't believe it. "Duke Inuarashi, are my parents okay? I want to meet them." Anna is most concerned about her parents, and has no time to catch up with Inulan. Anna, your parents are fine, they're not combatants." Inuarashi is the king of the day, and the fur tribe he leads are all normal animals. Anna's parents are cats, so they naturally belong to the leader of Cat Viper. Tilde, that's good." Anna breathed a sigh of relief. The stone hanging in her heart finally fell to the ground. Miss Anna's head. A white and graceful figure rushed towards Anna quickly, and Anna raised her head at a loss. "Big sister, it's me, don't you remember? I'm Garrett." The little rabbit threw Anna down, and Karuchu went crazy on Anna's face. "Garrot, you've grown up so much, ha ha ha, Anna misses you so much." A rabbit and a cat rubbed each other's faces, and Yake, who was a Thunderfruit-capable user, had already felt the static electricity generated. "Sister Anna, you are so strong, even a villain like Jack can't beat you, I admire you so much." Geralt's admiration for Anna is indescribable, and Anna's smile gradually became unrestrained. "Ha ha ha ha, so, Anna only used a little bit of strength, ha ha." Seeing the two cute little guys actively interacting, Robin showed his aunt a smile, so cute. "Your Excellency Yake, am I right? Thank you for saving Zoe." Advertisement. Inulan bowed to thank Yake, and Yake just hummed flatly, as if he had accepted Inulan's thanks. "From today onwards, you will always be friends with our fur tribe, everyone, the war is over." Inulan was not angry when he saw Yake's perfunctory attitude, and even felt that the attitude of a powerful person like Yake was normal. As long as he was not happy, he could easily destroy Zoe. Woo! Jack survived and died, his subordinates were defeated, and Reiju absorbed the poisonous mist as the killer's trump card. The dark clouds hanging over Zoe people's heads finally dissipated, and the square was full of laughter. Many people wanted to give Yake and others their own Kaluchu, but under the pressure of Yake's strong aura, they gave up this move and could only express their gratitude to Yake. Garrett glanced at Yake secretly and asked, "Sister Anna, are you a pirate?" Anna triumphantly patted Garrett on the shoulder. "Of course. I am the chef of the famous Ark Pirates. Do you know the Ark Pirates? The Emperor of the Sea?" Anna couldn't help bragging as soon as she saw the face of the little fangirl. She told Garrett about her adventures with embellishments, focusing on her performance in the Summit War and the War of Nations, straight light. "Sister Anna, you are too powerful, don't pirates have bounties?" "Sister Anna, You are so strong, the bounty must be very high. Garrett looked at Anna with a look of admiration, but it was this kind of look that deeply hurt Anna's fragile heart. Without him, her bounty is really unspeakable. How should I say it? Anna thought hard, and if she wanted to tell her real bounty directly, the image of her heroic figure in Garrett's eyes, and her image that disappeared between talking and laughing would collapse. Anna turned to the guest. Geralt, do you know how much our Captain Yaksama's bounty is? This question really stumped Geralt, and she was not to blame. Zo was considered a hermit country, and all the people knew very little about the outside world. It is precisely because of this that Garrett yearns for the outside world and adventures in the sea, so Garrett especially admires Anna who ran away from home, and has always regarded her as an idol. HMPH, I'm afraid I'll scare you to death if I say it, a total of 5 billion Baileys. That Jack just now is only 1 billion Baileys. Anna was secretly proud when she saw that Garrett had been bluffed by her, but luckily she was smart. I can beat Jack easily, no need to say what my bounty is. Anna's eyes were quite profound, and the more Geralt thought about it, the more he felt that Anna's bounty was at least a few billion, otherwise it would be impossible to be so strong. Advertisement, Sister Anna, is your bounty already worth 1.5 billion? Anna smiled without saying a word, showing an inscrutable expression. Garrett was not discouraged, and continued to speculate. Anna quickly stopped Garrett and pulled her to Yake. Isn't it good for us to go like this? Anna, do the fur tribe have any rules? Robin grabbed Yake's left hand and looked at Anna. Yaksama, this is the Garot I told you about, my former follower. How about it, isn't it cute? Yake. Yaksama. Thank you for saving us, I am Garot, please take care of me. Reiju. Let's go and see Anna's parents, come here. Anna cleverly changed the subject. Yaksama, I'm going to find my parents, do you want to go together? Robin. Yake sighed, seeing Robin eager to try, let Robin touch one ear. Anna's smile gradually disappeared, and she felt a crisis that she had never had before. In the past, Yake and Robin would only show this smile when they touched themselves, but now they do, it turns out. Anna took a deep breath, pretending not to care, and pulled Garrett away from Yake and Robin. Orangutan fur family and cow fur family stand on both sides. Yake did not forget Reiju. This time, only Anna, Reiju, Robin, Yake, Fujitora and Bullet came to Zou to guard the Kingdom of the Sky, and the others went to get Doflamingo. Garot. You're so cute, aren't you, Robin-chan? Under the leadership of Garrett, they walked through the dense forest and came to a quaint gate. Anna held Yake's hand and was about to move forward, but Yake had no choice but to keep up. Yake couldn't help laughing, he likes the little bunny the most, cute and clingy, he couldn't help touching Garrett's ear. Hey Tilda, it's so soft, so comfortable. Hey Tilda, what are the rules? In the eyes of the fur people, human beings are just monkey fur people with thin hair. It's okay, let's come together. My parents definitely want to meet you. Garrett introduced himself to Yake with a blushing and stiff face. After the introduction, he seemed dissatisfied with his performance, and his long snow-white ears drooped on both sides. 194. Anna's family Forest of Wales. Wanda, Garrett, who are they? The old cow looked at the people who came. He only knew Wanda and Garrett, and he didn't know anyone else. Although there was a cat fur, he had never seen it before. Roddy, don't be nervous, they are the one who helped us repel the beast's pirates, he is the benefactor of our fur clan. Wanda quickly stood up and explained to avoid unnecessary conflicts. Ah, you were the ones who saved Zo. Thank you, Kaluchu. Gorilla Fur rushed to Yake when he heard that Yake was their benefactor. Yake's pupils shrank. No, someone wants to take advantage of him, it's still public. Do not come. Yake held the orangutan's head with one hand, making it difficult for him to move. Unexpectedly, the orangutan would not let him go, so Yake had to use his strength to throw him out, and looked at Wanda helplessly. Wanda pointed to the cow fur and said, Mr. Yake, this is Rhodey from the Whale Forest Knights group. He is a warrior of the cow fur clan. The orangutan fur thrown by Yake was not angry, he patted his clothes, took out a banana, and looked at Yake and his party with a smile. I am BB of the Whale Forest Knights, the orangutan fur man. Your great kindness and virtue will never be forgotten. Roddy and BB once again expressed their gratitude to Yake and his team. Is this one of our clansmen too? Why have you never seen her before? Roddy took a closer look at Anna, but still didn't recognize whose family she was. HMPH, Roddy, don't you even know me, it's so sad. Anna flew up to Roddy and winked, very embarrassing. I remembered, you are Tina's child. You are Anna, right? You are still alive. Great, Tina must be very happy to know. BB looked at Anna from head to toe, and only after hearing Anna's voice did she confirm Anna's identity, and she was immediately very happy. Robin whispered in Yake's ear, Captain, Anna's mother should be Tina, I guess. Advertisement. Yake chuckled, which meant that Anna's parents were still alive and well. After all, Anna had been away for several years, and she must be very worried as a parent. That's right, take me to meet my mother, I haven't seen her for a long time, I miss her so much, and Dad. Walking into the whale forest, Yake suddenly felt that he had entered the paradise, Furui's paradise, but they hid immediately. Most of Furui, oh no, the fur girls seemed to be quite familiar, hiding in the corner secretly watching Yake. Rhodey and BB looked around, but there were no people. It is estimated that the clansmen regarded them as enemies. They didn't know that Jack of Beast's pirates had been killed, and the war was over. Rhodey looked around and shouted in a thick voice, Everyone! They are the ones who saved our fur tribe. He is our great benefactor. His name is. By the way, your name is. Halfway through shouting, Rhodey realized that he didn't seem to ask job life. Wanda told Rhodey in time to ease his embarrassment. His name is Yake. Suddenly, warm cheers erupted from the seemingly empty building, and all kinds of furclansmen came out from every corner, rushed to the street, and surrounded Yake and his party, making it clear that Kaluchu was the only one. Yake was about to break out in a cold sweat. He was so enthusiastic, he couldn't put them all down, could he? Master Yake, Karuchu. And Yake was overwhelmed by all kinds of animals, big and small, male and female, big and small. Yake felt treated like a superstar, was overwhelmed by fanatical fans, and was at a loss. Robin and Reiju watched Yake know who am I. AVI with a smile on the side, without any intention of helping. There are also some who want to talk to Robin and Kaluchu. Robin and Reiju politely rejected the male ones, because they are afraid that Yake will be jealous, but the female ones don't care. Anyway, Yake is the most popular. Finally, under the stop of Rhodey and BB, the fur people regained their composure. Yake lay on the ground with blank eyes and doubted life. His face was almost bald. Fortunately, he was thick-skinned. Robin and Reiju glanced at each other, helped Yake up, and helped him organize his clothes by the way. Robin joked. Captain, are you comfortable? I saw several beautiful and cute fur girls kiss you. Stop talking, I just want to be quiet, Yake said quietly. Robin almost laughed out loud, but finally retreated in Yake's resentful eyes. Anna asked Roddy and BB where their parents lived and ran towards Yake after getting the exact location. Yaksama, come with me to meet Mom and Dad, advertisement. Yake rubbed Anna's head. Of course, let's go, Robin Reiju, you come together too. Anna laughed happily, bouncing and leading the way, and the little fangirl Garrett hurriedly chased after her. Mother. Anna jumps on the bed to do disco, trying to wake her parents up. The orange cat's fur fell directly to the ground, rubbing its head sleepily and yawning. Mom. Dad. Wake up. The prodigal son who left home Anna returned to the warmth of the family. They must have a lot to say. Yake quietly took Robin and Reiju out of the room, leaving them their own space. Anna narrowed her mouth and almost cried. It was a million times different from what she had imagined, but soon Anna entered a warm embrace. What? Dad, you actually. Woo 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 Tilda. Garrett turned on the light in the room, encouraging Anna to wake her parents up. Anna, are you still alive? Mom, Dad, guess who's back? Tilda? Anna's father was even more exaggerated. He grabbed the snot and tears, and deliberately hid in the corner so that no one would find out. Anna excitedly opened the dark door, only to find that her parents were sleeping. She patted her head and suddenly realized. Sister Anna, wake them up, it's almost 6 o'clock, it's okay. They must want to see you too. Yake scanned the room and saw a yellow cat fur and a white cat fur sleeping on the bed. Compared to this couple, they're Anna's parents. Anna's mother hugged Anna tightly, tears wet Anna's white fur. Great, Anna. You're finally back. Yake smacked his tongue inwardly. It's amazing, Anna didn't inherit her father's genes at all. It was carved out of the same mold as her mother. The orange cat fur looked at Anna in shock, as if he had discovered something terrible. 195. The picture's poor Yake stood outside the door looking at the scenery, and Robin Reiju stood beside Yake on the left and right. The plants here are quite interesting. Is that a grape? It's a big one? Robin pointed to a bunch of dark purple round fruits on the tree and said, seeing Yake's interested look, he used his ability to pick a few. Captain, do you want to try it? It should be edible. Robin tore a piece of skin from the fruit, and the plump lavender juice overflowed, exuding a sweet smell. Robin did the same and handed the other to Reiju. Thank you, Sister Robin. Yeah Tilda. Yake has already opened his mouth, sucking the pulp and juice in the fruit. Oh, it's really good, this fruit is very interesting. I wonder if it can be transplanted to the kingdom of God in the sky. Reiju nodded in agreement. Her food was more elegant than Yake. Robin chuckled and said, Captain, I think Zoe is already in your pocket. Yake gave a thumbs up. Robin, you really understand me. Snapped. The door behind Yake opened, and Anna, who still had tears in her eyes, came out with her parents. He is Yake, my captain. This is Sister Reiju. This is Sister Robin. This is my parents. Anna's parents nodded to Yake to thank them. Just now they learned from Anna that Yake saved Anna back then, otherwise they might never see Anna again. Mr. Yake, I'm Andy, and this is my wife Tina. Thank you for taking care of Anna, a naughty child. I'm sorry for causing you trouble. Anna's father, Andy, bowed 90 degrees to express his thanks to Yake. Anna glanced at his father when he said that he was mischievous. This scene was seen by Robin, and he couldn't help smiling. This is what it should be. Anna has also helped us a lot. Now she is a child who can stand on her own. We can no longer look at her from the previous perspective. Our pirates are all supported by her cooking. Ha ha. Yake scratched Anna's chin and said what was in his heart. Everyone has seen Anna's growth in the past few years. Her cooking skills, combat power, and even her cultural level have all improved significantly. Advertisement, Tilda I think you should stop praising Anna. Her tail is almost up to the sky. Anna's mother, Tina, touched Anna's head. It was obvious that Yake's words were very helpful. Anna can achieve such an achievement already, it exceeded their expectations. Master Yake, Ms. Robin, Ms. Reiju, why don't you stay here for a few days? Let us treat you well. No problem, I just plan to live here for a few days. Yake nodded and agreed. It would be fine to stay for a day or two. It mainly depends on Luo's progress in Dressrosa. Bang bang tilde bang bang. Hoochie, Hoochie, Master Yake, Miss Anna, the old Duke Yamato Inuarashi wants to invite you to the banquet, please come. The little rabbit Garrett ran over panting and said, holding his knees and panting nonstop, at least ran a few miles. Yake bowed his head and pondered for a while. Well, okay, I happen to have something to tell them. Originally, Mobamushi and Inuarashi were deadly enemies, but because of Yake's appearance, Zo's crisis was resolved, and they coexisted peacefully for the time being, at least until Yake left. A group of people followed Garrett through the whale forest again, and came to the inner city area. It was already in full swing, and the atmosphere of the banquet was gradually rising. The most conspicuous ones were the cat vipers and Inuarashi in the crowd. Meow meow tilde, your excellency, Yake is really extraordinary. The cat viper was holding a cigarette butt, meowing and laughing. Yake had to look up to see the face of the cat viper. Compared with Anna's petite body, the cat viper can be called a giant fat cat, with a height of nearly 5 meters. Natural enemies. Haha, it's ridiculous, it's just a matter of convenience. Yake waved his hand, complimenting him enough. Ha ha ha, come on, let's make a toast to Zo's benefactor first. Inuarashi raised his wineglass, pushing the atmosphere to a climax. After the banquet, the scene gradually became deserted. The fur people who attended the banquet either lay down on the spot or went home to sleep. Robin Reiju went back to the boat to sleep. Only in a familiar place could they sleep peacefully. Advertisement Yake, Mamushi, and Inuarashi were sleepless, and the three stood at the top of the whale forest. Yake's words were merciless. These two people had some connections with him. After all, they had stayed on Roger's boat for a while, and their father Rayleigh also knew them, but Yake was not going to give them face. Cat Viper stepped forward and pointed at Yake. You, so what? Zo and the people of Wano-kuni are brothers. Yake shook his head, feeling rather regretful. Tisk 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 tilde, you are so loyal. Tell you the truth. Odin's son Momonosuke will come here in a few days, and I will kill him then. Shut up. You are not allowed to insult Master Odin. Your Excellency Yake, if you have anything to say, just say it. Brother, you sacrificed so many people for one person? This is a brother? If I don't come, maybe Zo will be destroyed by Jack. Are all the people of the fur tribe willing to sacrifice for some shit Odin's retainers? How did Lord Yake know? We are indeed Lord Odin's retainers, and the warrior Jack is looking for. Lei Zhang is also one of the retainers. Yake pointed to the moon in the sky and said, you are the retainers of Kazuki Odin. Meow, meow, I hate Inuarashi, but I agree with him. Inulan and Malmushi looked at each other, they didn't hide the truth, they said it honestly. It's ridiculous. As Zo, there are actually 2 kings, and both kings are other people's retainers, the king of the day and the king of the night. What an irony. Inulan remained silent. He knew in his heart that neither of them was a match for Yake, but he still couldn't hold back when he heard Momonosuke's name. Momonosuke is one of Odin's bloodlines left in the world. He can't die. The more irritable cat viper exploded on the spot, and directly picked up its sharp claws to attack Yake, and the unique thunder and lightning of the fur clan wrapped around its huge sharp claws. You guys, do you have any comments? Play thunder in front of me, I don't think you know how to write the word dead. Yake turned around and faced the cat and dog with a smile, and the atmosphere was tense. After Yake finished speaking, the scene suddenly calmed down. Cats and dogs looked at Yake in shock, wondering how he would know this past event. Inulan and Malmushi are in a hurry, but it wasn't because Yake saved Zo today, they might have turned their faces on the spot. 196. Raku Destruction. Yake almost laughed out loud when he saw the cat viper's attack. Lightning. Yake is the master of thunder and lightning. In this world, he is the god of thunder. Elementalized in advance to avoid the armed claws of the cat viper. In the astonished eyes of the cat viper, Yake's ordinary fist hit him in the face. Boom. As if struck by lightning, the cat viper kept rolling on the canopy. His strength was nothing to mention in front of Yake. I advise you not to overestimate your strength. My strength is not something you can resist. Do you think I am discussing with you? Yake stood proudly with his hands behind his back. His tyrannical aura swept the minds of the two of them like a storm, and the posture of the overlord of the sea could be seen at a glance. For the sake of your acquaintance with Rayleigh, I will spare you this time, and next time, I will not show mercy. After Yake finished speaking, he jumped straight into the whale forest. There is a historical text here, as well as a tight lazo bound by chains. Woke up the ninja. The cat and the dog became anxious when they saw Yake entering the whale forest. Lei Zhang was hidden here by them. How could Yake know that the two chased after him together? The Red Sheath 9 heroes. Yake looked at Lei Zhang, who looked puzzled and smiled. The Red Sheath 9 is tasked with fulfilling the last wish of the family Odin, to free Wano-kuni and return Wano-kuni to the Kazuki family. But Ark already has Wano-kuni in his pocket, at least until the world is back on track. Then the Red Sheath 9 heroes and Momonosuke who want to restore the country are Yake's enemies, and Kushiro who is lurking in Wano-kuni and doesn't know the outside information is fine, but those who cross over must die. Yake, what do you want to do? The cat and dog blocked Lei Zhang and confronted Yake head-on. Lei Zhang knew that the man in front of him wanted to kill him. Kinemon, Kanjuro, Raizo, Kikunojo, and Momonosuke, you were one of the people who crossed over from 20 years ago, Raizo, right? It's a pity that you are going to die today. Yake stared at Lei Zhang indifferently, his right hand turned into an electric current, and a ball of electric light flew into the sky. Stop! Advertisement. Momobamushi and Inulan attacked Yake together, intending to stop Yake, but it was in vain after all. Thunder God's punishment. Under Lei Zhang's desperate eyes, the huge thunder pillar soared to the sky, and turned into charcoal in the unwilling cry. Malviper and Quan Lan froze in place, watching their friends die in front of them. No. You devil. Yake nodded irritably. Devil. No, 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 I just did what I should do. To the enemy, he is indeed a demon. Inulan gritted his teeth tightly and made a creaking sound. The gap was too big, and he couldn't even see the movements clearly. Yake's strength made him feel desperate. I advise you to forget about Odin, or you will end up like him. Yake jumped down from the stone tablet of the main text of the history, stomped his foot on the ground, and the charred Lei Zhang turned into black powder. The 9 heroes of the Red Sheath can change their name to the 8 heroes of the Red Sheath. Inulan yelled at Yake. Why are you doing this? The reason? Kaido won't be jumping around for long. Wano Kuni is about to usher in his new king, and that's me. Kaido is such a waste that he let you people escape back then. If I were for you, you would never have a chance to live today. Yake wiped off the dust on the red history text, and said lightly, but I agree with Odin's words very much. Wanakuna's founding of the country is very necessary. I'll give you 2 a chance. Abdicate, I can decide to let you leave Zou. Or, fight like hell with me now, go underground and meet Odin. Yake's words have come to this point. It depends on how the cat and dog choose. Since he decided to kill Momonosuke, they have been enemies. For Odin, they are very good retainers and friends, but for Yake and even Kaido, they are rebels. Yake doesn't want to act, so he chooses a direct showdown, which is the confidence given to him by his strength. The cat and the dog glanced at each other, but did not speak. The strange atmosphere of silence began to spread. Yake was waiting, and they were thinking about countermeasures. Who? Tilda? Inulan took a deep breath, and he knew the answer from Malmushi's firm eyes. Then let's fight. Yake is right. They should have followed Odin to the underworld 20 years ago, and now, it's not too late. Yake looked up at the sky. Isn't it a full moon today? How can it still transform? Advertisement, Odin 1 knife style cat laugh conflict. Odin 1 sword style, dog slashing mighty arrow. Mobamushi and Inuarashi cooperated very tacitly and transformed into the moon lion form at the same time. Although it is not a full moon, they can force it to open with years of training. Although the side effects are huge, it is now a desperate juncture. Yake swung his arm horizontally, his armed color hardened and his own defense power easily blocked the 2's knives, making a crisp sound. It looks quite intimidating, but its power is average. Is this what you guys are capable of? Yake thought that the cats and dogs transformed into moon lions would give him a little surprise, but unfortunately their strength is no longer on the same level, and they can't pose any threat to Yake. Odin 2 sword style Taoyuan 10 fist. The 2 wielded the knife wrapped around armament hockey, and they became one, with the cross behind the former, like a shooting star piercing the sky. The cat and dog worked together to release Odin's stunt, which was far more powerful than 1+1. Yake narrowed his eyes. This trick seems to be okay, it can't be overstated. Air shock shatter. Yake hit the center of the cross with a fist, and there was great resistance in front of the fist. Yake added a little more strength when he saw this. Ah, meow. Break it for me. Inulan and Malviper's eyes were about to burst, and they couldn't move forward even an inch with all their strength. The cross-sword energy had been exhausted, and the blade that had been with them for many years was trembling uncontrollably. How could that not be the ability of the old man? How could you? Cat Viper saw the white halo and only thought of one person, Whitebeard, only he has such power. Worry about yourself first. Get the hell out of here. Yake provoked a smile, and the dense cracks spread all over the atmosphere. He knocked the 2 of them into the air and hit the cliff. The aftermath of the battle between the 3 had overwhelmed the cave where the historical texts were stored. The 2 who flew out became the last straw that broke the camel's back. Here, collapsed. Yake flew out of the cave with 2 behemoths, threw them on the road, and looked at them condescendingly with his hands crossed. The mayfly shakes the tree. 197. Zou's new king. Momomushi and Inuarashi lay dying on the ground doubting their lives. Yake didn't speak, just looked at them quietly. Cough 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 tilde. Inulan coughed up a big mouthful of blood, and looked very embarrassed. Of course, the cat viper was not much better. In this cruel real world, food is the original sin. Join if you can't beat it, or be killed. Yuan, kill us, I don't want to live in this world anymore. Cat Viper glared at Inulan. You old dog, when did you become so cowardly? But Inulan pretended not to see it, knelt on the ground and lowered his head. Yake passed by the 2 of them and glanced lightly. Want to die? It's not that simple. I want you to take the position of the king of the furry principality. Anna is the new king of Zou. When the time comes, will you commit suicide or leave? Feel free to do so, I do not mind. After finishing speaking, Yake left without looking back. The battle just now didn't even count as a warm-up. Anyway, he was going back to sleep. The footsteps gradually faded away. Cat Viper and Inulan looked at each other, sighed. The next day, the bandage-wrapped Cat Mamushi and Inuarashi gathered all the fur tribesmen of the furry principality. They didn't explain why, and people were wondering that the king of the day and the king of the night had the same screen for a day. There was a lot of discussion. Inulan saw that almost everyone had arrived, mainly because the fur clan elders with relatively high status in Zou had already arrived. After clearing his throat, Inulan said loudly. Everyone of the furry principality, Cat Viper and I want to announce an important matter. It was mainly Inuarashi who was speaking, and the Cat Viper acted as a background board, indicating that Inuarashi's words were approved by him, and the public will not be able to accept this news for a while. Why? Duke Inuarashi, didn't you just win a big game? Yes, there is no need to change the king. Seeing that the situation was a little out of control, Cat Viper put on a black face and roared loudly. Shut up, meow. In short, we are no longer dukes and bosses, everyone treat us as ordinary fur tribes. That's right, starting today, we are not kings. Advertisement Inuarashi glanced at Malmashi unexpectedly, and then continued with Malmashi's words. After the two adults have left, who will be the new king? Seeing that Mal Viper and Inulan had made up their mind to go, the people no longer stopped them. What they are most concerned about now is the candidate for the new king. Hearing this sentence, Inulan sighed without losing his composure, regrouped and said loudly, the new king is Anna. Anna? I see, yesterday's cat fur, I even hugged her when she was a child. Is it the fur tribe with Master Yake? That's right, she's also very powerful. After Inulan said Anna's name, the people talked a lot. They may not know who it is just by saying Anna's name, but they only need to talk about Andy and Tina's children. After all, Zou is only a small country and the tribe is not counted, too much. Anna was stunned. Why did she somehow become a king when she woke up? It wasn't until people's eyes were on her that Anna suddenly realized, and hid beside Yake a little bit at a loss. Yake, the obe in the crowd, showed a smile. It seems that Malmashi and Inuarashi are still on the right track. Yake lowered his head and touched Anna's little head, looking at where Inuarashi was standing. Anna, go. Yaksama. Anna looked up at Yake with a smile on his face, and knew that it was Yake's handwriting without guessing. Anna clenched her fists to cheer herself up silently, and flew directly into the sky, coming between the Cat Viper and Inuarashi. Standing on the high platform, Anna knew exactly how many people came this time. The audience was densely packed with fur tribes. Yake, who was 2 meters tall, was inconspicuous among fur tribes. Although Anna prides herself on being a big sister and likes to show off, this is the first time she has seen this kind of scene. People's eyes are all on her, and Anna wants to run away. Don't be nervous, Anna, you will be the king from now on. Inulan encouraged Anna to become more confident, and glanced at Yake in the crowd without losing his composure. He has no objection to letting a fur tribe be the king. Anna is strong enough to protect the safety of the people. The only drawback is that she is too young and not steady enough, but Anna is not alone. Strong backing. Anna whispered to Inulan. Yeah, I'll work hard, and I will definitely not let Yaksama down. Advertisement Anna took a deep breath, looked directly at the fur tribe people under the stage, and suddenly felt a little itchy in her ears, and there was a sound coming from her. I am Anna, and from today on, I am Zou's new king. In history, the succession of monarchs was always when the predecessor passed away, or would die soon. Anna's predecessor is not only alive, but also alive and well. My rights come from you. I will do my best to keep you away from kidnapping and war, and to live a carefree and happy life. As soon as Anna finished speaking, there was thunderous applause, and the corner of Robin's mouth rose slightly, disabling his ability. Great. Long live Duke Anna, King Anna. Seeing that the people still recognized Anna very much, Jacques was relieved. It doesn't matter who is the king, but whether they can get the life they want. The system of Sky God Kingdom may be relatively backward compared to Blue Star, but it has far surpassed most countries in Pirate World, and has a fatal appeal to all ordinary people. Anna succeeded in sitting on the throne. Momomushi and Inuarashi left silently, and no one knew where they went. Yaksama. This is too sudden. I'm not made to be a king. If Sister Robin hadn't reminded me today, I wouldn't even know what to say. After a busy day, Anna found Yake at night and began to complain. She just wanted to be a chef in peace. Actually, you're very happy, aren't you? Robin was reading the books on Zou without raising her head. She had already seen through Anna's innocence. So what? The king seems to be more famous than the big sister, Anna, don't worry, after a few days I move Zou to the god of Sky Kingdom, and you can be a mascot with peace of mind. Yake shook his head and smiled. Anna's king is just a name. When he arrives in the kingdom of the sky, Yake's people will take over Zou and merge it into the kingdom of the sky. Anna is only the king in name. All rights are in Yake's hands. Anna looked at Yake in disbelief as if struck by lightning. So you have always regarded me as a mascot? 198, Straw Hat Crew. Punk Hazard, Thousand Sunny. Brooke poured a cup of tea and savored it carefully, while Kinnaman swallowed. This tea, can I have a cup? Certainly. Brooke turned around and took out 2 cups, poured a cup for Momonosuke and Kinnaman respectively, and let them taste the black tea he brewed himself. Suck Tilda. It's delicious. Zoro leaned on the mast with his head in his hands, and put the 3 famous swords aside casually, watching the so-called father and son Momonosuke and Kinnaman. It's too late to ask now, but why did you get on this ship? Nami pricked up her ears. After hearing Momonosuke's name, she remembered the task entrusted to them in Yak, god of Sky Kingdom 2 years ago, which was to find a man named Momonosuke. I don't know if it was this kid. Usopp crossed his hips and said suspiciously, it's true to hear what you said, didn't the children all board the marine's boat? Kinnaman knelt on the ground and said, Your Majesty is on an important journey, so I don't want to get involved with marine and waste time. Just put us on an island with a port. Before that, I will trouble everyone. Seeing this, Momonosuke also learned to look good, and knelt down on the grass with Kinnaman. Please. Luffy climbed onto the lion on the bow and said nonchalantly, okay. Pay after the ship's fare reaches the shore. Nami didn't bother to think whether Momonosuke was the person Yake was looking for, and it was important to collect the money first. Are you still charged? Kinnaman was shocked. He is an out-and-out poor ghost. Nami. Where is the next island? Let me see. Luo walked to the deck with a ghost crying and said lightly. The next destination has been confirmed, and it is Dressrosa. Dressrosa. Kinnaman suddenly became excited when he heard the name. What? Do you know this island? No, that's exactly where I want to go. Could it be that you are also going to do business there? Luffy smiled and said, maybe. A drop of cold sweat ran across Luo's forehead. You don't understand at all, do you? Advertisement, tilde. Luo fell silent, his face darkened, and he was speechless. Hey, Luo, you seem to have talked to someone just now? Nami knows that Luo is a member of the Ark Pirates. Has he notified Yake? It's Doflamingo. My goal this time. Usopp yelled in front of Luo. Doflamingo? It's the Chichibukai. He should be the toughest, right? Luo ignored Usopp and said to himself, the battle has begun. Zoro frowned. What battle? Yeah, tell us what combat is. Luffy was in high spirits. I'm going to defeat Doflamingo. Our men have gone to Dressrosa. If you don't fear death, you can come too. Luffy, Usopp, Zoro and others are all around Luo. Really? We can be together too. Luffy, calm down. The other party is a member of 7 Warlords of the Sea. As soon as Luffy heard that there was a fight going on, Luffy instantly became energetic. Usopp had no love in his life, but he still tried to persuade Luffy. How would he know if he didn't try? Nami didn't speak, and kept observing Luo's expression. It seemed that he didn't know anything about Kinnaman and Momonosuke. It's mainly me and Doflamingo. Me and him have reasons to have to fight. Sanji pointed at Guy and said, what about him? Luo cast a glance at Gaisa, who lowered his head and didn't know what he was doing, and said slowly. Gaisa is the one our captain wants, and I will take him to meet our captain. Oh, your captain? Who is it? Luffy scratched his head in a fog. Idiot, he is a member of the Ark Pirates, and his captain is of course God Yake, one of the emperors of the sea. Usopp angrily gave Luffy a hand knife. Oh, Yake, I know, he saved me an ace in the Summit War, and I haven't thanked him yet. Luffy grinned and said that his influence on Yake is still very profound. His master Rayleigh is Yake's adoptive father. Luffy is often compared with Yake by Rayleigh when he is practicing. Yake is also the person he wants to defeat. 1. Sanji let out a puff of smoke, looked at Luo and said, the bounty with a bounty of 5 billion Baileys. He must be very strong, but Luo, do you have to defeat Doflamingo yourself? Yes, the captain can easily kill Doffer, but I have a grudge against Doflamingo, and Doflamingo can only be killed by myself. Advertisement. Luo Chong breathed a sigh of relief, getting closer and closer to Dressrosa, and the memories of the past came like a tide. Whether it was for Rosinante or for himself, Doflamingo had to pay the price. By the way, that person's name is Momonosuke, right? Luo pointed to Momonosuke and Kinnaman in the distance. Sanji and Nami's pupils shrank, and Usopp suddenly realized, remembering his experience in the Kingdom of Sky God. Asked in a low voice, could it be that he is the person Yake is looking for? Luo remained silent, nodded his head to express his acquiescence, turned and left. Huh? What's the matter with Peach? Luffy saw that something was wrong with Nami Sanji, and scratched his head in confusion. Night. While Momonosuke and Kinnaman rested, Nami gathered several people together. What are you doing, Nami? I just dreamed about eating meat. Luffy was bleary-eyed and was very upset that Nami interrupted his dream. Idiot. Have you forgotten the mission entrusted to us in Yak, god of Sky Kingdom 2 years ago? Nami knocked on Luffy's head resentfully. Well. No impression. Nami clutched his forehead tiredly. Under the vivid interpretation of Nami and Usopp, Luffy finally recalled what Yake said at the time. At that time, he was too busy eating Kenkiki family bucket and didn't pay much attention. Frankie and Brook, who joined the Straw Hat crew after God of the Sky, also knew the ins and outs. Momonosuke, who is on our ship now, is the person Yake is looking for. Do you think we should notify Yake? Nami's cross is almost overflowing. After 2 years of training, her will of D has become stronger. Luffy felt a little bad, took out the family bucket, took out 2 finger-sucking chickens and stuffed them into his mouth, thinking while eating. Since I promised Mr. Yake a long time ago, I still have to tell him. We just need to call him to inform him, right? Although Usopp has a good impression of Yake, Momonosuke is a child. If he is handed over to Yake, his end will most likely be death. Out of fear, he still felt that Jacques should be informed. After all, they and Momonosuke just met by chance. There's no need to make troubles with Yake for irrelevant people. 199. Dover's helper at night, Straw Hat crew was still discussing the issue of Momonosuke. Luffy didn't say a word. Although he didn't have a deep friendship with Momonosuke, he knew the consequences of telling Yake the news that Momonosuke was on his boat. Others are still discussing. Zoro, Sanji, Nami, and Usopp agreed to notify Yake. Brook and Frankie, who joined later, did not express their views, but these are meaningless. Luffy is the captain, and the final decision is in his hands. Snapped. While everyone was still discussing, Luffy suddenly patted the table, attracting everyone's attention. I've decided not to tell Yake. Let's send Momonosuke and Kinnaman to Dressrosa and then tell him. There's only so much we can do. Luffy said with a serious face that although he owed Yake a lot of favors, he promised to take them to the next port. Even if he wanted to notify Yake, he had to wait for him to send the father and son to Dressrosa. Luffy has already made a decision, and everyone agreed with Luffy's approach. Nami yawned. It was a big night, and he was a little tired. He was about to go back to sleep. Luo, who was hiding in the kitchen and eavesdropping, activated his ability, and a bean fell into the crack on the ground. Blue tilde? Who? Are you calling so late? Robin sleepily took the phone bug and handed it to Yake beside him. Ah, Someone is calling? Let me see Tilda. Yake didn't even open his eyes, and he caught the phone bug by feeling. Hi, I'm Yake. Captain, the Straw Hat crew decided to land on Dressrosa and tell you the news about Momonosuke. They have been struggling for a long time Tilda. Yeah, I see, don't let Momonosuke escape, keep an eye on them. Neither of them mentioned about Doflamingo. Luo is confident that he can defeat Dover, and Jacques also believes that Luo can easily defeat Doflamingo. What's more, with the help of Jinbei, Lao Sha and others, his captain and Dover's cadres are simply not one level. Advertisement Dressrosa, the Highlands of Kings. Doflamingo's face was gloomy. After learning the guy was arrested, his mood suddenly turned cloudy, especially when Luo called him specially and asked him to wash his neck and prepare to die. Doflamingo was so angry that he smashed it on the spot. A set of expensive furniture. Patriarch. The people from Kaido of the Beasts have arrived. The baby 5 in the propeller form rushed into the palace, and immediately passed the news to Dover. For Tilda, that's great, God. For Tilda, I don't know if your subordinates are stronger or Kaido's subordinates are stronger. Doflamingo was in a good mood, and Luo thought he was settled, but he also had a backer. No, when he heard that he was in trouble, he was still from Yake, so Kaido immediately sent a big Kanban to help out. Now, it's hard to say who lives and who dies. Baby 5, take me to see them immediately. Under the leadership of Baby 5, Doflamingo stepped out of the palace with arrogant steps. Walking out of the city, Doflamingo saw the tall Plague Quinn at a glance, and all kinds of strange givers behind him. For Tilda, welcome to my country, I didn't expect Kaido to send you here. Do you think Big Brother is looking for you? Wrong, it's because the Beast's pirates have already fought against the Ark pirates. I heard that the Ark pirates are back this time, so Big Brother asked me to help you, Funk. Quinn spoke very fast, and it was a bit like rap while talking. His fat body twisted flexibly, and the younger brothers around him were beating the beat. If it wasn't for the microphone, Quinn would have a meet and greet concert with Dover. When did this happen? Doflamingo said in shock, is Yake's handwriting already so big? First he wiped out Big Mom, and now he's at war with the Beast's pirates. If he was allowed to wipe out the Beast's pirates, wouldn't he become a sea overlord comparable to Rocks? Now even if he told Dover Yak found Raftel, he would believe it. Yak, who debuted less than 5 years ago, has already surpassed countless pirates, making Dover wonder whether he has lived on a dog these years. Advertisement comparing people to people makes people mad. Just a few days ago, Yake killed brother Jack. Woohoo, really useless, so the big brother is now at odds with Yake. I hope you can recognize your position. Quinn changed into an extremely serious one, without any threatening words, but every sentence revealed a threatening meaning, reminding Doflamingo not to make small moves. For Tilda, I can't enter God's eyes, his subordinates are here to kill me. Doflamingo didn't care either. To be honest, whenever Yake revealed that he wanted to recruit him, Doflamingo joined directly. But it was a pity that Yake not only didn't want to recruit him, but Aokiji didn't bother to kill him. On the surface, Dressrosa still looks peaceful and peaceful. Toys and humans live in harmony, and there is a romantic atmosphere everywhere. Gladiators shed their blood and sweat in the bullfighting arena. In fact, there has already been an undercurrent here, and various forces have gathered here. Fantasy Island, Zou. After Anna became the new king of Zou, she abolished the 2 work and rest schedules established by Neko Mamushi and Inuarashi, and the fur people can arrange their own time according to their living habits. Robin has been teaching Anna, the king's self-cultivation, recently. Anna has studied it very seriously this time, and she really wants to be a good king this time. Robin, as the actual king of the kingdom of Sky God, has a lot of experience. It just so happened that she had nothing to do in Zou these days, so she simply opened a cram school, teaching the children of Zou to learn about the sea during the day, and studying in Zou at night. Tutor Anna alone. Robin's lectures are very good. Many fur tribe adults who are interested in the outside world also listen to Robin's talk about the outside world with the children. Now her status in Zou is no less than Anna. Yake is probably almost forgotten, because he has been thinking about how to bring Zou back to the kingdom of God in the sky these days. Zou is very strange. The forest, vegetation, and buildings here are all on the back of the elephant owner. Unless one layer of the elephant owner's skin is torn off, there is no way to pack Zou away at once. Anna's ability lion fruit ability is very convenient, but physical strength can't keep up. In the end, Yake chose to take a part of Zou. The house building must be taken, and only a part of Zou's unique plants should be taken. Yake has already thought about the location of Zou. It is on the other half of Guy Island. It is big enough and rich in resources. It just borders on Angel Island, and it is very convenient for foreign exchanges. Yake scratched his head. As soon as Zou joined, the god of Sky Kingdom really became a zoo, with all the animals swimming in the sea and running on the ground. 200. Dressrosa the next day, the weather was fine and it was a good day to move. Yake stayed in Zou for a few days and found that it might not be good to kill Momonosuke here. After a few days of understanding, Yake found that Zou's fur tribe had an inexplicable sense of trust in Wanokuna's people, just like what Inuarashi and Mamushi said. Zou and Wanokuni are brothers. In order not to affect Anna's status, Yake decided to take Zou back to the Kingdom of the Sky, and then went to Dressrosa to find Momonosuke. Ready, Anna? Yake put his hand on Anna's head and stroked it unconsciously. In front of him were all Zou fur tribes who were ready to go. Of course, Yaksama. Anna is already ready. Meow. Anna nodded confidently. In the eyes of the little fangirl Garrett, the big sister Anna's head is simply too rough. Okay, let's go then. Yake jumped up, flew into the air and turned into a long-lost dragon form, occupying the sky, covering the clouds and the sun. My god, is this the power of Master Yake? It's terrifying. It turns out that Master Yake is also a fur tribe. He is a dragon fur. Fart your mother. It's lizard fur. Many people were frightened by Yake's transformation into a dragon, but soon fell into a debate about whether Yake was a fur tribe. Unfortunately, Yake couldn't hear it, otherwise he would have to breathe out. HMPH, let me play meow. Anna gave a soft cry, and a large group of buildings and vegetation vacated from the elephant owner's skin, and flew into the sky together with the fur tribe standing above. Yake saw the right time and released a large number of flame clouds to support the building complex and relieve Anna's pressure. The whole zoo suddenly became empty, leaving only some forest vegetation. Captain, you can go, there is no omission. Robin borrowed the ability to send a message, and directly grew the phantom body in Yake's ear, so that Yake could hear it. Okay, let's go. Yake and Anna left with Zoe, and the elephant owner looked up at Yake in the sky at this moment, and let out a roar that shook the sky, but Yake had gone far away and couldn't hear him. Seeing the flying farther and farther, Garrett finally couldn't help it. Miss Anna, is the Sky Kingdom really what you said, humans, murlocs, and mermaids? Anna snorted proudly, and patted Garrett on the shoulder. To tell you the truth, Garrett, the mermaid princess Shirahoshi, was covered by me. She is just like you, she calls me Big Sister, got it? Advertisement, wow, Big Sister, you are too fierce. HMPH, what's the point? I'll introduce you to each other then. Anna crossed her hands calmly. She has grasped the essence of Yake's pretentiousness, and she has learned it well. Great, thank you, Big Sister, I invite you to eat carrots. Garrett was immediately overwhelmed with excitement, and took out a fresh and tender carrot from his pocket and handed it to Anna. For a rabbit fur, this was already considered a huge price. Gallet, I don't need it, you can eat it yourself. Anna said embarrassingly that Garrett's feelings for her seemed to have deteriorated. These days, not only did he follow her every day, but he also insisted on squeezing over to sleep with her, which made her have no chance to attack Yake at night. The carrots were all shared with her. Anna shook her head. It's really difficult, it's all because I'm too charming, meow. Yake has notified Perona and Fujitora in advance to clean up Guy Island. The Zo fur tribe can move in with their bags today, and the houses are ready made. Great. Is this the outside world? As Yake expected, the reaction of the fur tribe was similar to when the Murlocs came. Yake left silently, leaving the rest to Robin and the others. Before going to Dressrosa, Yake called Luo to communicate. R.O. This is Yake. The plan has changed. I will come to Dressrosa right away. Where is Momonosuke now? We've just arrived in Dressrosa and they're still on board. Luo, who disembarked with the main force, has already joined Jinbei and others. According to the plan, Momonosuke and others should still be on the Straw Hat cruise ship. Okay, I see, I'll come right over. Yake didn't talk nonsense, and hung up the phone directly. The thunder and lightning on his body became more manic, and the speed increased a little out of thin air. Dressrosa, 1000 Sunny security team. Chopper knelt on the ground, picked up a cup of tea and sent it to his mouth, showing a peaceful smile. Tilda. Not at all, you can't drink it all, hey? Momonosuke gritted his teeth and accused Chopper. Listen, the so-called poison test is just to test whether the general's food is poisonous. You can only taste it briefly, understand? As ordered. Chopper's face was full of question marks, but in order to play games with Momonosuke, he had to accept his fate. Advertisement. Momonosuke closed his eyes and raised his head proudly. Again, serve tea, Chopperman. Chopper grabbed the ground with his head, and bowed his head to Momonosuke. Obey. My lord, Chopperman, get it immediately, your highness. Chopper lay on the ground without looking up, squirmed on the ground and left to get tea. Momonosuke lay comfortably on Nami's lap. Nami played the role of a maid, fanning Momonosuke with a small folding fan in his hand. Your highness, is your body safe? Well, it's very comfortable, and I'm very satisfied. Momonosuke rubbed his cheek against Nami's smooth thigh, while Brook gritted his teeth, wishing he was Momonosuke. Is that so? This is very good, Nami said with a smile, but suddenly felt something more on her leg. It was Brook. He was a vigorous and decisive person, and he was about to do what he said. He lay directly on Nami's lap, and when he looked up from the bottom, he couldn't see Nami's face clearly, which showed how huge Nami was. We are also very satisfied, yo-ho-ho-ho Tilda. Brook got his wish, and there was even a blush on his pale bones. Nami raised his right hand, invisible energy gathered in his fist, and Brook felt the suffocating pressure. Boom! Brook flew out and rolled on the ground until he hit the railing of the boat. Nami's fist was terrifying. It hurts a million, Miss Nami, isn't it a knee pillow party? Brook was so wrong that he had a bump on his head that was bigger than his head. Party size, Brook, it's a game of generals. Chopper came back with tea and explained to Brook in a low voice. Brook looked puzzled. General game? What the hell is this? If Taotao stays alone, he seems to think too much and become autistic. Brook was as angry as he watched Momonosuke rolling around on Nami's lap. Only thinking about nasty things? 201. Countdown to death. Chopper quickly waved his hand. No, looking at Momonosuke, he continued. Although he didn't tell me the exact reason, but judging by his age, he may have suffered some deep trauma in his heart. Chopper looked at Momonosuke, who was constantly hugging Nami with compassion, and was very worried. Not only that, Mr. Yake also wanted his life, but he couldn't figure out why, but Brooke could already understand Yake. Hey, Bonji, let me play some cheerful music to cheer me up. Momonosuke really took himself seriously, and started to arouse Brooke. Of course Brooke refused, picking his nostrils and said with disdain. No, I only obey Luffy's orders. Under the death stares of Nami and Chopper, Brooke had no choice but to do so. After singing, suddenly there was the sound of glass breaking in the cabin. The expressions of the four froze, and the sound of breaking glass continued, as well as a woman's voice. Chopper and Nami, who were already timid, were already a little scared, and Momonosuke and Brooke were not much better. What's the situation? There should be no one else on this ship except us. That's right, Luffy is also big-hearted, leaving a few of the least courageous to guard the boat. Brooke said in horror. What's the sound? It's disgusting. It's scary. Namiko. Momonosuke threw himself into Nami's chest in fear, causing waves. It's so annoying, it's so annoying. A woman's voice came from the bedroom again, and Brooke was so frightened that his tears almost flowed out. He covered his cheeks and yelled loudly. Chopper and Brooke reported to the group for warmth, and Nami hugged Momonosuke. Chopper. Bonji. Nami and Momonosuke called Chopper and Brooke respectively and said in unison. Go and check what's going on. What? Although Brooke and Chopper had 100 reluctances in their hearts, under the threat of Nami's fist, they still gave in and opened the door tremblingly. The door creaked open, everyone was stunned. The room had turned into an abstract painting, with colorful and strange shapes inside. This kind of art was too early for people in Pirate World. Chopper stared blankly at the unrecognizable room. What's going on here? Advertisement. Momonosuke hugged Nami's thigh with disgust on his face. It's disgusting. Frankie will be angry if he sees such a tragic situation. At this time, a figure sprang out from the darkness, with high heels and slender thighs. A colorful cloud formed from his body, and he threw it in front of the door with a loud shout. Colored smoke. The smoke dissipated, and the room turned into an abstract world, just like the fantasy world in Picasso's hands, but Chopper and others were obviously not in the mood to appreciate it, and what this scene brought them was only shock. Even the door has turned into a strange shape. Is it a capable person? What kind of fruit is it? Evil taste fruit? The door opened from the inside with a creaking sound, and a woman came out, muttering, It's disgusting, it's disgusting. It's an old lady with a belly like a ball, and her upper body is full of fat, making people wonder how she manages to get fat only on her upper body. That's why I hate guys with no artistic taste. Nami yelled, Who the hell are you? Shut up for my old lady. Jorah posed narcissistically. Who do you say is the mermaid princess? Two men jumped out from the sides of the boat and stood on either side of Jorah. Hey, do you know who this lord is? She is Lord Jorah of the Don Quixote family. The two subordinates were very face-saving, and introduced Korra's identity to Nami and the others. Korra, a cadre of the Don Quixote family, and a person with the ability to achieve fruit of art. Oh tilde, my artistic soul is about to move. The surging sense of art is overflowing from my heart. Jorah raised his hands and swayed his body. A cloud slowly appeared on his forehead, and Jorah held it in his hands. It's about to explode, a new liberation of beauty and shock. Korra shouted loudly, and threw the cloud towards Nami and the others, and it exploded under their feet. The four of them were enveloped in the smoke, and their shapes began to change. This is Jorah's ability. She can turn her imagination into smoke and throw it at her opponent. Whether it is a person or an object, she can turn it into a work of art similar to an abstract painting according to the intention of the capable person. What's outrageous is that in Jorah's imagination, Nami has become an ordinary woman, Brooke has become the shouting person in a world-famous painting, Chopper has become a creature similar to Pinocchio, and Momonosuke. Not to mention worth mentioning. Advertisement. Brooke covered his face and looked at the transformed Nami and said angrily, It's so ugly, the towering breasts have become so flat, it's too much. At this time, there was a muffled sound in the sky, and dazzling lightning flashed across the sky. Boom tilde. There was a loud noise in the sky, and thunder in the clear sky attracted everyone's attention. What's the situation? Isn't it sunny today? 3 charred bodies fell powerlessly to the ground, making Nami scream loudly. Momonosuke was too frightened to move, hiding behind Nami and watching Yake secretly, but he didn't know that his life was already counting down. Looking at Yake's tall and muscular body and masculine and handsome face, Nami recognized Yake immediately. Compared with 2 years ago, he has not changed much, and he still looks lazy. Chopper swallowed his saliva. As far as he knows, the only person who can drive thunder and lightning is Yake. Could it be that he has come? Chopper couldn't help but glance at Momonosuke. You are, Yake. 3 bolts of lightning precisely hit them, and death was only a split second away. What's going on? Have they been punished by God for doing too many bad things? Yes, it's me, long time no see, Chopper, and Brooke, right? Yake didn't even look at Momonosuke. His eyes stared straight at Nami, although occasionally it would float below the neck, but there was no way, she was too big. Jorah and the 2 younger brothers looked up at the sky, not knowing what happened in the next second. Brooke said strangely that due to the death of the capable person, the body slowly returned to its original state. Yake knelt down and touched Chopper's head, then shook hands with Brooke. Miss Nami should still remember the mission I entrusted to you 2 years ago in the Sky Kingdom. Nami looked at Yake with a complex expression, feeling Momonosuke hugging his thigh tightly, a little overwhelmed. Although they have decided to tell Yake the news of Momonosuke when the day really comes, Nami still doesn't know how to choose. Only Robin and Hancock can stand against Nami. Yake suddenly appeared on the grass of Thousand Sunny and greeted Nami with a smile. Thunder God's punishment. Long time no see, Miss Nami, you have a really nice figure. 202. Momonosuke, dead Yake saw Nami's tangled expression. But Yake is not worried, let alone Nami, even if the Straw Hat crew is standing in front of him, he is confident to kill Momonosuke. I know Mr. Yake, but I don't know that Momonosuke is a child. Nami hugged Momonosuke and put it in his arms. Momonosuke was not stupid, he also knew that the man in front of him had bad intentions for him, so he shrank his face into Nami's ditch in fear. The murderous intent in Yake's heart continued to rise, and Nami, his favorite female character, was taken advantage of wantonly in this way, and Yake couldn't hold on anymore. Yake took a deep breath to calm himself down. Is he Yake? Yes. Brooke hadn't met Yake formally yet, and secretly discussed with Chopper in a low voice. Yake's aura was too strong. Even though Chopper was familiar with Yake, he didn't dare to speak loudly in front of him. Boy, is your name Momonosuke? Yakuso put Nami aside and asked Momonosuke directly. Gudong. This is Momonosuke. What's wrong? Momonosuke swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and said tremblingly, his eyes were already filled with tears, and he would cry if he was not careful. HMPH, I'm asking for your full name, you can't fool me. Yake snorted coldly, and Momonosuke trembled in fright, and almost urinated on Nami. My full name is, woo, Namiko. Momonosuke burst into tears before finishing a sentence, and shed tears on Nami, and Yake couldn't help clenching his fists. Give him to me, Yake said to Nami in a deep voice, holding out his hand. Nami didn't speak, looked at Momonosuke who was crying in his arms, and looked at Yake stubbornly, as if saying no. You should know what happens when you s me off, Miss Nami. Yake took a step forward, reaching out to catch Momonosuke. Advertisement, don't want. Nami turned her back, not wanting to hand over Momonosuke to Yake. Brooke pulled out his crutch when he saw this. Ha 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 tilde. He's not some kind of Kinemon's son, he's Kazuki Oden's son, and Kinemon is just his retainer. Yake couldn't help laughing. Nami's actions suddenly made him feel a little funny. Although Yake killed people regardless of gender, Nami was a character he once liked after all. Perhaps their existence made Yake feel that he was not from this world. What did you say? Nami frowned and turned to look at Yake. He is the son of Kazuki Oden, former general of Wano-kuni, heir to the Admiral Army. Momosuke, do you know what enemies you will bring to help him? 4 Emperors Kaido of the Beasts. His territory is Wano-kuni. Both Geisa and Doflamingo follow Kaido's order to hunt down Momonosuke and his retainers. With him, you will only encounter danger constantly situation. Yake said it all in one breath. Nami was dubious. She knew that Momonosuke would not be a child of ordinary people, but she didn't expect him to be a hot potato. Momonosuke was still looking at her eagerly. Nami still couldn't bear it. Yake shook his head upon seeing this, the heart of the protagonist. Yake suddenly appeared in front of Nami, grabbed Momonosuke by the neck, and forcibly separated him from Nami. Yake grabbed Momonosuke's waist with one hand and held it tightly in his hand. Boy, I don't know if you know a person named Lei Zhang. I just killed him a few days ago. Momonosuke burst into tears and kept crying. He was so confused that he didn't listen to Yake's words at all, and just wanted to escape Yake's clutches quickly. Shut up. Yake gave Momonosuke a big mouth without hesitation, and Momonosuke's face became red and swollen at a speed visible to the naked eye, which made Yake upset. Nami turned her head away, and couldn't bear to watch it anymore. She was powerless about what happened to Momonosuke. Yake's strength was known all over the world, and it was unmatched. Momonosuke was stunned by the beating. He blinked his eyes and looked at Yake's face in horror. He thought in a trance that he had returned to the time before crossing. He had just finished a beating and finally crossed to a safe place. Seeing that Momonosuke didn't speak, Yake lost the interest to ask, and strangled Momonosuke's neck directly. Nah, Namiko, help me. Momonosuke's last hope was pinned on Nami, and Chopper and Brooke clenched their fists. No matter who Momonosuke was, they couldn't see a child die in front of them. Yake turned his head and looked at the 3 people who were at war with each other and said, I know a person who has lived for more than 200 years. Do you know how she lived for such a long time? Advertisement. Seeing that no one spoke, Yake pouted and said to himself, because she never cares about other people's business. You may be a good person, but don't be a bad person. This matter is beyond your control. I advise you. Rat tail juice. A small lightning passed through Momonosuke's brain, and Yake put Momonosuke down. On the surface, Momonosuke did not have any scars. In fact, Yake's erosion thunder was already lurking in Momonosuke's body. Huh, today is a good day, you'd better stay away from Momonosuke. Nami held back tears and said to Momonosuke with a smile, it's okay, you won't die. Nami's acting skills are not good, although Momonosuke is lecherous, he is not stupid. Peach, what's the matter with you? Are you alright? Momonosuke had a strange redness on his face, and his body was on the verge of collapse. Literal meaning. Yake tidied up his clothes and turned to leave. Another way of saying this sentence is that there is no hope, just wait for death. After confirming that Yake had indeed flown away, Chopper put away the binoculars and turned his head to check Momonosuke's body. Yake, who flew to the kingdom of God in the sky, looked at the time and said with a smile, 3, 2, 1, bang. Seeing that Momonosuke's body was strange, Nami couldn't help asking with concern. Yes, I'm fine. Chopper's small face was full of seriousness, but Chopper's expression became more and more downcast, with big tears falling down one after another. Momosuke forcibly raised his mental struggle and stood up. I am Momosuke, and I will be a man in the Wano Kuni Admiral Army in the future. Boom, I'm sorry, I can't help it. Yake flew away without looking back, and he was not interested in watching the battle in Dressrosa. This level of battle made Yake not interested. Am I going to die? What do you mean? Dazzling thunderlight bloomed from Momonosuke's body, and his body continued to expand until the final critical point. 203. Subsequent effects. Thousand Sunny. Nami, who was closest to Momonosuke, collapsed powerlessly on the ground, covered with black dust. Chopper and Brook were speechless for a while. Yake's corrosive thunder can stimulate body functions. The nervous activity and muscle movement of organisms will generate weak currents. The corrosive thunder will gradually grow by relying on the continuous microcurrent until it finally devours the host's body. It is also the first time Yake has used this ability, but the effect is not bad, but unfortunately it can only be used to abuse vegetables. Nami's eyes were glazed, and tears were falling down the corners of his eyes. Chopper and Brook didn't dare to come forward to comfort them. To them, Momonosuke's death was just a psychological and moral discomfort. The main reason for beating life and death is that you can't beat them. Chopper, let Nami be by herself for a while, she must be feeling very uncomfortable. Brook sighed and said to Chopper. Chopper nodded with his mouth pursed, and walked into the cabin with Brook. They also need a little time to digest what happened today, and Chopper felt that the image of Yake in his heart collapsed. 5 days later. The Dressrosa War was over, and with Beast's Pirates Giver and Quinn joining, the Doflamingo crusade was a bit lively, but after the situation gradually became clear, Quinn resolutely sold Doflamingo and ran away with his own people. The worldwide enemy Doflamingo and his forces were destroyed. At the last moment, Sengoku and Suru brought the new Admiral Momosagi to the end and captured Doflamingo. The people of the Ark Pirates retreated directly, because they knew that Marine was not an enemy, and conflicts could not easily occur. Thousand Sunny, Kinemon took Kanjuro happily to meet Momonosuke. But as soon as he set foot on Thousand Sunny, Kinemon noticed that Luffy and the others were not in a good mood. They didn't look like they had won a battle at all. When they glanced over and didn't see Momonosuke, Kinemon's heart gradually sank down. Teacher, where's Momonosuke? There was only silence in response to Kinemon, and Kinemon continued to call Momonosuke's name with a forced smile, but still got no response. He rushed to Luffy like crazy, and grabbed his collar. Where is Momonosuke? Isn't he on the boat all the time? Say it, say it. Kinemon swayed Luffy's body wildly. Luffy held down his straw hat and said nothing with a dark face. Mr. Kinemon, this is what Momonosuke left behind. With tears in his eyes, Chopper handed Kinemon a small box with Momonosuke's photo on it. Kinemon took the small black box tremblingly, and could no longer control the grief and anger in his heart, sobbing and beating his chest, unable to extricate himself. Advertisement Kurozumi Kanjuro's face is also not very good. He hasn't exerted his strength yet. Why are people gone? How does this make him explain to Orochi? The mission failed, and the blood of Kazuki Oden died suddenly? Kanjuro secretly thought something was wrong, but the play still had to continue. In a blink of an eye, tears flowed from the corners of his eyes, and he crawled weakly to Kinemon's side and composed a symphony. Straw Hat Crew. Who is it? Who killed Momonosuke? I must pay him with blood. Kinemon, who was relieved, only had anger in his heart. He believed that it was not the Straw Hat Crew that killed Momonosuke, but he still complained a little. Confess to the dead patriarch Kazuki Oden? We are very sorry about this matter, but you'd better not seek revenge from him, otherwise you will die in vain. Sanji spat out his eye circles and said lightly, after confirming that Momonosuke was the person Yake was looking for. He already knew what happened to Momonosuke, but he didn't expect this day to come so soon. Grieving and angry, Jinnaman has lost his mind. I don't care who he is, tell me. It's us. Luo led Jinbei and others to board Thousand Sunny and surrounded Jinwaiman and Kanjuro. Kinemon suddenly calmed down, glanced at Luo, then pulled out his two swords with a ferocious face. The flames ignited and attacked Luo. Really? I want you to die, Room Slaughterhouse? Luo stood still and didn't move, and directly activated his ability to chop Kinemon into pieces. Although he was still alive, he had lost the ability to resist. Luo, what are you doing? You have already killed Dao Zi, what else do you want? Luffy stood up and stood in front of Kinemon to confront Luo. I'm just following the captain's order. For the sake of your help in Dressrosa, I don't argue with you. You'd better get out of the way and don't mess up. Catch Tilda. Fan Oka put a bullet on Fate, aimed at Kanjuro who was about to escape, and pulled the trigger. Momo 100 times bullet. Fan Oka made Kanjuro run for 100 meters, but the bullet caught up with him in an instant and hit his brain precisely. Advertisement Zoro, who wanted to save someone, had just pulled out his two knives. It can be seen how fast the bullets are 100 times faster, and the naked eye can no longer catch up with the trajectory of the bullets. No. Unable to move, Kinemon roared. As the boss of the Red Chief 9 heroes, his brother died in front of him for many years, but he was powerless. Luo's expression remained unchanged. Take him away. Enough is enough. I will absolutely not allow you to take away Kinemon in front of me. Second gear. Luffy's chest rose and fell, his body turned pale pink, and steam kept coming out. Leave him. Rubber jet machine gun. Luo snapped his fingers, and the figures of the Ark Pirates disappeared from Thousand Sunny, leaving only a few gray stones. They had already returned to the polar divers with Kinemon. Naturally, all of Luffy's attacks were missed, and there were a few more stones in his hands. Luffy took a deep breath, exited the second gear, and the stones were crushed directly. Luffy, are you okay? Don't take it too seriously. Usopp, Nami and others stepped forward to comfort Luffy, but Luffy didn't say a word, and sat on the bow of the boat, looking at the sea in the distance, wondering what he was thinking. Yake just received news from Luo that Kinemon and Gysa were captured, and Yake asked Luo to kill Kinemon and bring Gysa back. Luo gave Yake feedback on what happened on the Straw Hat boat. Yake thought about it and was still going to call Luffy. Blue Brew Tilda? Nami answered the phone curiously. Huh? Who will call it this time? Moshi Moxie Tilda. You are. I am Yake. Luffy, who was sitting on the bow, moved his ears, and quickly snatched the phone bug from Nami's hand. I'm Luffy, Yake. Why are you doing this? 204. Prepare for war. Yake laughed when he heard Luffy's words. Ha ha ha, Luffy, they're the enemies of the Ark Pirates, so shouldn't they be killed? But, Momonosuke, Kinemon, Luffy was at a loss for words for a while, and didn't know what to say. To be honest, Momonosuke and Kinemon and their relationship are not considered behind, and Potent is just a friend. Maybe it's just that Yake's tough and cruel approach made him feel a little uncomfortable. No, that's not much of a reason, Luffy. If you think what I'm doing is wrong, no problem, beat me, let me agree with you, but, you can't. Luffy suddenly became anxious. How is it possible? Just wait for me, I will definitely come to beat you. Ha ha ha, then I'll wait and see. By the way, what is your dream? Yake suddenly thought of a funny thing. Raftel's report has not yet been sent out, but it must be interesting to stimulate Luffy in advance. Luffy said seriously. My name is Monkey D. Luffy, and I am the man who will become One Piece. Yake held back his smile and asked calmly, what are the conditions for becoming the One Piece? Travel around the world, log on to Raftel, and find One Piece. Luffy's tone was so firm that no one could shake his determination. Luffy, it's like this, I accidentally got the permanent record pointer to Raftel, so... Well, I didn't want to, sorry, you may never find One Piece. Versailles literary master Jacques expressed his regret and caused critical damage to Luffy. Forever? Luffy was stunned, his energy seemed to be empty for a moment, and he kept chanting about One Piece, my One Piece, and he was a little dazed. Before Perona exerted his strength, Luffy had already been negatively affected. He didn't think Yake was lying to him at all, let alone Yake hadn't lied to him in the first place. Hello? Are you still there? You will be able to read the news in a few days, remember to buy a newspaper? Advertisement. In a fit of anger, Luffy punched the phone worm, and the phone hung up immediately. The phone worm glanced at Luffy resentfully, and swore it would never come out again. Usopp trotted all the way to Luffy, and asked with concern, Luffy, what's the matter? I think there is something wrong with you. Yake said that he has got Raftel's pointer, and also said that I will never have One Piece. If I can't find One Piece, I can't become One Piece. Luffy cried pitifully to Usopp, lying delicately in Usopp's arms. What? Yake has found One Piece. How is this possible? Usopp's yelling has attracted everyone's attention. How is it possible that the new One Piece has already appeared? No way. Really? Usopp, you're lying again. Luffy was in the bow of the boat when he called. Others thought that Luffy was still angry about Momonosuke and Kinemon, but they just watched Luffy's dramatic emotional changes from a distance, and they didn't understand the content of the call at all. Really, that's what Yake said. Usopp responded very dissatisfied. When did Captain Usopp lie? In fact, everyone was relieved to see Luffy like this, as long as he doesn't get entangled in Momonosuke's problem. Luffy, the newspaper didn't report that Yake found One Piece. Maybe he lied to you? Nami flipped through the previous newspapers and told Luffy for sure that such a big event as finding One Piece should be told to the whole world, right? Who would be so stupid as to keep hiding? Anyway, Nami thinks Yake must not have found One Piece yet. No, Nami, Mr. Rayleigh said that Yake never lied since he was a child, so he must not have lied to me. Luffy wiped away his tears and gave Usopp a contemplative look. Usopp. Yake is going to send Raftel's message to the whole world during the World Summit, when the Revolutionary Army will declare war on the world government, and now Yake is preparing for the war against Wano Kuni. Strive to make the nuclear reaction neutralizer as soon as possible to deal with the counterattack of the world government. Master, this is the permanent record pointer to Wano Kuni received from Kinemon. Guy said I have taken the heart and sent it to Dr. Judge. Advertisement. Yake took the pointer, smiled and said to Luo, good job, I already know about Dressrosa. Now that you have completed your revenge, do you still want to follow me? Luo immediately stood up straight, with a serious face. Yake is in charge, I will definitely continue to follow you, and we will go to subvert the world together. Guy, you dare to be arrogant as a prisoner, go and work for the old man, or you will feel better. In the past, Guy would be angry at him when he had nothing to do. Although Vegapunk was better than him in research, he was not trusted, so he had to endure it. Now it is finally his turn. Guy yelled hard. Vegapunk, you be asterisk 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 D. Even if I die outside, I will not be a researcher for you if I jump from here, odd tilde? Guy yelled at Judge crazily, because Judge's research ability was no match for him at all. Vegapunk was, barely, a bit more genius than him, but Judge just pinched it lightly, and Guy snarled like killing a pig ghost screaming. Ha 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 ha, well said, take a good rest for 2 days, in a few days we will go to war with the Beast's pirates. Vegapunk walked into Judge's laboratory in a strange manner, and rushed over immediately when he heard the Guy was coming. Judge triumphantly raised his heart in front of Guy, and Guy couldn't help but shed tears of humiliation. Yake walked into the laboratory. Is it so lively? Yake rubbed his eyes, almost thinking that he had misjudged the person. Is this the black-bellied Luo? Yake also chuckled immediately, with a clear idea, and his whole person has undergone earth-shaking changes. Yo, isn't this our genius guy? It's been a few years since we've seen such rubbish. Judge, deal with this B********************. D. Give me my heart back, or I will. Ah tilde. Yake laughed and patted Luo on the shoulder. It was really hard for Luo during this time. Luo smiled at Yake for a long time, turned and left. Before he finished speaking, Guy screamed and Judge silently handed his heart to Vegapunk. Thank you, Master. The Kingdom of God in the Sky, a research base. I was wrong. Please forgive me. I can do anything. Don't pinch it. If you pinch it, it will explode. 205. The Ark Pirates gather. Seeing Yake, Guy seemed to see a savior. Rolling and crawling, he floated to Yake's feet, crying with snot and tears about the unfair treatment he had encountered, and begging Yake to give him safe and equal research conditions. Yake lowered his head and thought for a while, then suddenly flicked the small horn on Guy's head and said with a smile. Well, what you said makes sense, but you can't think about it until you become a regular. Dr. Vegapunk, how are the war beasts getting ready? Yake ignored Guy's sarcasm and went straight to Vegapunk. Vegapunk took out a model and began to explain one by one in front of Yake. I have successfully broken through the behemoth of war. Now it is version 2.0. Compared to before, it is perfect. Both the weapon system and the defense system have been comprehensively improved. Especially the weapon system. I developed a new weapon by combining the pacifist's laser beam and electromagnetic gun. I call it Gamma Electro-Optical Spiral Laser Gun. Yake. Who did you learn your name from? Power, consumption? Yake is concise and concise, which is the core and most critical issue. The power is 10 times that of ordinary electromagnetic guns, and if it consumes 20 times, the energy of a giant war beast is only enough to fire it 3 times. Scratching his head, Vegapunk said, that's what electric drives are. He's done his best. Well, I see. Yake pondered. Vegapunk's ability is already very outstanding. Although the energy consumption has increased by more than 10 times, the power is very powerful. It is limited by the current conditions. As for the consumption, unless a larger energy source can be found, it can only be achieved through expand capacity to increase energy reserves. I'm going to attack Wano Kuni soon. How many of them have been tested and can be used directly? Yake pointed to the warehouse full of war behemoths 1.0 and 2.0. Advertisement. Judge hastily explained. Currently, War Behemoth 1.0 can dispatch 6 units, and 2.0 can dispatch 3 units, which is already a lot. If there are more, we will not have enough soldiers from the Sky Kingdom. Okay, let's check it at the end. There must be no problems, otherwise I will take you for a question. Yake pointed to Judge, who has always been in charge of coordinating the War Behemoth. Yes, Master Yake, please rest assured. This time Yak attacked Wano Kuni and prepared to dispatch 2,000 elite soldiers, who were responsible for driving war monsters to provide air support to Wano Kuni's ground combatants. Participating in the ground combat is mainly the pirate fleet led by Katakuri, and the other 2 teams are the Ark Pirate team organized by Lao Sha and Jinbei. Yake and other high-end combat forces are fighting Kaido and Beast's pirates' big Kanban flying 6 cells. This time, Yake plans to at least eliminate the Beast's pirates and the Orochi army in one day. Kaido is more resistant to fighting. Yake knows this very well. With Yake's strength, Kaido can be beaten, but it will inevitably enter a war of attrition. Yake is ready to fight Kaido for a few days. Yake's summoning order has been issued, and all the combatants will arrive in the kingdom of the Sky God in 3 days. When the time comes, they will enter the War Behemoth and fly to Wano Kuni without anyone noticing. 3 days later, Bai. A total of 9 war behemoths docked on the clouds, and on the other side were well-equipped and well-trained soldiers. With Yake's order, they boarded the war behemoths in an orderly manner. Katakuri, go in. I know you are worried about the lives of your brothers and sisters. Let the weaker ones stay on the war beast. It's safe there. Yake saw that Katakuri had a little concern and told him that the person who didn't want anyone to die easily was Yake. Yake can be called cruel to the enemy, but Yake is definitely a qualified leader when he treats his own people. Well, Captain Yake, thank you very much. Katakuri was not hypocritical. He directly lowered his head and got into the war behemoth, because the door of the war behemoth was only 5 meters high, which was big enough for ordinary soldiers, but it seemed a bit crowded for some small giants. Advertisement. This time, Reiju, Anna, and Hancock, Robin, and Perona were dispatched with Yake to guard the Kingdom of the Sky. Yake asked Shang for help, and someone directly gave him a plane ticket to take him on a trip. Somewhat different from Big Mom, Hancock doesn't need to make others fear to extract their souls. As long as he is attracted by Hancock's beauty, Hancock can extract their souls through soul spells. Oh tilde this world. When will we usher in the real prosperity? Fujitora went to Yake and asked that he was Wano Kuni's prodigal son. Although he hadn't been back to Wano Kuni for a long time, it was his hometown after all. In a blink of an eye, the soldier platform became empty, and all the said combatants had entered the war behemoth. Yake patted Fujitora on the shoulder and said, Don't worry, Mr. Fujitora, you know who I am. I won't increase the killing in vain, but I can't control so many rebels. All I want is Seastone. It's not far away. Okay, let's go too. 9 war behemoths were ignited at the same time, and the blue flames pushed the war behemoths off to the direction of Wano Kuni. Captain Yake, this old man knows that war will inevitably lead to death, but this old man still hopes to be merciful to the people of Wano Kuni. Yake looked at the clouds in the distance and smiled. That's right, it was Bullet. Bullet was going to take the eternal truth with Yake. He heard that he was fighting the four emperors Kaido. He rushed from the islands of the White Sea overnight to Shenju to find Yake and asked to be a pioneer. What else could Yake do, so he had to agree that Bullet's strength was at the four emperors level. However, Yake arranged for him this time as Jin's opponent. I hope Jin is okay, because Kaido must be dealt with by Yake himself. Yake boarded the eternal truth, followed by Reiju, Anna, Fujitora, Bullet, Luo, and Fanoka. With a hook of Anna's finger, the eternal truth floated up to keep up with the large group. Yake has been out of his body many times. Fortunately, Hancock is his own person, and even Yake can experience the feeling of soul fusion. Yake and Hancock have been friends for a long time. The country of Wano Kuni is not interested in Yake. It is too remote and the folk customs are peculiar. Yake has no interest. It would be a waste of time to move back. When the time comes, it will be over with the Seastone mine. Now, head towards Wano Kuni. The reason why Hancock came is because the soul fruit needs to extract a lot of souls to create more creatures, and the soul reserve is also necessary. As the opponent, Beast's pirates are a good source of soul energy. 206. Heavenly Soldier Ghost Island is surrounded by the sea. No boats can get in, unless you can fly like Kaido. The reason why Kaido lives so far away is to give Orochi full autonomy. Orochi played a big role in capturing Wano Kuni. Although he didn't do much, Kaido needs him to help rule Wano Kuni. The second is that the ability of the Wano Kuni samurai still makes Kaido take into account, otherwise he would not have killed Oden, and wanted to recruit Jushinmaru and the others. The second is that he is huge and needs a large independent space to live in. Another reason is that Kaido guards against Wano Kuni's samurai and disobedient ones, and doesn't want to be plotted by them. Although Kaido's physical fitness is very pervert, he can't handle backstabbing. He lives on Ghost Island where he can control Wano Kuni remotely and live comfortably, and more importantly, he cannot be attacked by rebel army. In other words, the Kaido people on Onigashima, the first step to capture Wano Kuni is to destroy the Beast's pirates, and the second is the Big Snake, which is convenient for Yake. Looking at the huge red-horned skull, Yake smiled. After 2 days of flying, he finally arrived at the battlefield. Now, fire me. After receiving Yake's order, the 9 war behemoths began to charge, and the purple light of the war behemoth 2.0 was particularly dazzling, and Yake couldn't help but take a few more glances. Ghost Island. Hurry up and get Lousy some wine. Kaido's black face was covered with blush. He seemed to be drunk. A dozen of his subordinates hurriedly brought a big jar full of wine. Kaido grabbed it directly, and drank it directly. Ah tilde good wine. Have fun tilde oh tilde. Kaido laughed and wiped the remaining drink from the corner of his mouth, smiling very happily, because he was going to attack the kingdom of Sky God in a few days, and his armed forces had already assembled. When the time comes, Kaido is going to concentrate his men on a certain island, and drag them to the God of Sky Kingdom together with the island to give Yake a big surprise. Little did he know that Yake knew the news a long time ago, and the source of the news was naturally Marine, and Kaido's supernova Drake was Marine's undercover agent, which was why Yake was so anxious to attack Kaido. Yake doesn't like being passive, and taking the initiative is Yake's style. The war behemoth has been fully charged, and with the sonic boom of the electromagnetic gun and the gamma laser cannon, orange and purple beams descended on the gloomy Ghost Island. Advertisement at that moment, the pirates on Ghost Island seemed to see the light. Boom 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 tilde. The sound of explosions was endless, and the gamma cannon, which combined the advantages of electromagnetic guns and laser rays, was the most amazing. It exploded a deep pit with a diameter of nearly 100 meters and a depth of nearly 50 meters on Ghost Island. Under a round of volleys, Ghost Island has become full of pits and pits. In the ruins of the central hall, a blue dragon soared into the sky, with raging anger in its eyes, watching the giant war beasts lined up in the sky. Damn it, I knew it was you, Yake. You be asterisk 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 D, heat. Kaido opened his mouth wide, and orange-red heat accumulated in his mouth, ready to go, and the dragon Kaido saw some colors on the war beast from the corner of his eye. Target Kaido, shoot me. Yake shouted loudly. Kaido thought he was invincible and turned into a dragon form. Wouldn't he be a target? Just use the Kaido to test the power of the weapon against the single? At that moment, Kaido saw the light. Kaido's heat was forcibly interrupted, and his face was blurred by the electromagnetic gun and laser light fired by the giant war beast. The huge dragon body was directly blown back again and again, fell from the sky, and hit the Ghost Island. How many pirates were shot? Ah tilde Yake, you. Lousy hurts to death. Kaido was forcibly beaten into a human form, rolling on the ground non-stop, with several bloody wounds on his chest and head, and a broken horn, but it was a pity that he did not cause fatal injuries. The wound has almost healed as Kaido rolls over. Kaido stood up cursing. He never expected to be beaten by Yake to come home. Never heard of him coming to Wano Kuni? Could there be a ghost in Beast's pirates? Kaido couldn't think so much for a while, and directly took out Wano Kuni's unique phone shell. Quinn, get back to Lousy, the Ark Pirates are calling. Nani, brother, I'll be right there. Quinn didn't care about coveting Xiaozi's beauty, and left the brothel with his men. Advertisement this time it's just for resources, killing Kaido is just a matter of convenience. Kaido looked up at the eternal truth and the war behemoth fleet that were slowly descending in the sky and roared loudly. The pirates behind him shouted frantically, the war is about to break out. Come on, fight, in battle. Die, brother, the enemy is the Ark Pirates. Yake took out the end of the wolf and said with a smile, "It's a pity, Kaido. The death of the strongest creature in the world is coming soon. I will fulfill your wish for you." Kaido didn't have a trace of timidity, and he looked up to the sky with a mace and smiled. "Isn't this the world's top war he has been longing for a long time?" Jin landed next to Kaido, who was well-proportioned, tall and strong. The whole body including the face is covered by pitch-black clothes, a long knife is hung on the waist, and flames are sprayed from the back of the pair of huge wings at any time, living up to the name of Fire Disaster. Flying Liubao, numbers, real fighters, and Endowers swarmed up. Although there are a large number of people, from the perspective of high-end combat power, the Beast's pirates are far inferior to the Ark Pirates. This is great, this is exactly the war one want. Following Yake's order, Hancock, Anna, Reiju, Bullet and others landed next to Yake in turn, and Katakuri on the war monster brought Cracker and others down from the sky, observing the surrounding situation from the corner of his eye. It would be too wasteful to use high-end combat power to clean up miscellaneous soldiers. Yake clapped his hands, and 1,000 special soldiers poured out from the giant war beast, each with an electromagnetic gun, and quickly landed through a rope ladder. The leaders all had devil fruit ability, Captain. Yake jumped to the ground first, pointed at Kaido and shouted, "Ark Pirates, attack! Beast's Pirates, attack!" Yake and Kaido's subordinates left one by one and entered the battlefield. Yake and Kaido stood motionless and looked at each other. Xiaozi, Kazuki Hiyori, frowned and stopped playing and glanced at Kwang Shiro sitting in the room. She felt that Wano Kuni seemed to be changing. The Comer is not good, everyone is ready to fight, the war has already begun. Kaido took out the mace and took 2 steps forward, causing the ground to tremble, pointing at Yake and shouting loudly. 207. One touch. As soon as the words fell, Yake's conquerors broke out instantly. Naturally, Kaido was not to be outdone, unfolded conquerors and had a fierce collision with Yake's conqueror's male sign. The entire Ghost Island was swept by the aura of the two, black and red lightning surrounded them, and the atmosphere gradually became suffocating. Thunder 8 trigrams. Without saying a word, Kaido picked up the mace and swung it at Yake. Clang! Yake waved the wolf tail to bounce off Kaido's attack, and by the way gave Kaido an air shock, directly knocking Kaido into the air. In the next second, Kaido jumped directly into the sky and turned into a dragon man, holding a mace tightly in both hands. The third generation, Yin Naraku. Yake. This is not the case when you beat others in the original book. Why did you directly activate the strongest state when you beat me? As long as you use all your strength from the beginning, you won't be beaten by wheels, right? After Kaido was punched by Yake, he knew that Yake's strength was beyond the standard. If he didn't go all out, he might fall directly into the disadvantage and be beaten passively, so he transformed into the strongest form without hesitation. There is still a chance to fight back. "Hey, can't catch up with me, Tilda." Yake flashed to Kaido's side, dodging Kaido's attack, and the wolf mob raised it high, ready to give Kaido a slash. Clang! Kaido blocked Yake's slash with his right hand covered with dragon scales, and sparks flew everywhere. Kaido's skin turned into a dragon man was harder than steel, and Yake was not discouraged. Anyone who can become 4 emperors is not easy to mess with. Physique, fruit ability, and hockey all stand at the top of the sea. Even if they are as strong as Yake, they cannot directly crush the 4 emperors. With the continuous confrontation between Yake and Kaido, the ground under their feet is constantly collapsing, and both sides are waiting for each other to show their flaws. Kaido is not an ant, the ant's spirit is a little abnormal, although Kaido has a changeable personality, but at least he won't get on top when fighting, especially when facing an opponent like Yake. Kaido will accept the attack that can be received. A deadly killer move. Kaido blocked them all. Although Yake was unscathed, he just had the upper hand. Yake knew how terrifying Kaido's resilience was, and the battle between the two would be endless for a while. On the other side, Hancock stood proudly in the center of the battlefield, surrounded by corpses drained of their souls. Surrender or die. Advertisement. Hancock showed a bright smile. The title of the most beautiful woman in the world is not called for nothing. Just look at the pirates awarded by the lust souls around, and at the same time they were also recruited. As long as their minds fluctuate, Hancock can take this opportunity to forcibly extract their souls, licking the dog until they have nothing, even their lives. A circle of pirates fell down again. Hancock proudly raised his head, and casually sprinkled soul seeds to give life to surrounding objects. Yake called this trick a dog-licking machine. Queen. Queen. You are so beautiful, Queen, look at me, I am your most loyal slave. Shut up for Aegea. Hancock raised his brows and shouted loudly, hurry up and kill those ugly pirates for I. Yes, your Lady Queen. Leave it to me, your Lady Queen. I am super strong at killing people. Salome, I have killed so many pirates, do you think Yake will praise me? Hancock looked at Yake who was fighting Kaido with a blush on his face, thinking about it. The python Salome felt that the life of the snake was not guaranteed. This is a proposition. Seeing the owner Hancock showing signs of inquiring, it had no choice but to shake its head, expressing that it didn't know. What, you trash, what use do I need you for? Hancock kicked Salome, hating iron for steel. Oh, is there anyone here? Sighed Tilda. Aisha's beauty is incomparable, but it's a pity that Yake is the only one who can appreciate my beauty. Hancock touched his delicate face narcissistically and smiled coquettishly again. Surrender or die. That's it. Bullet spat on the ground in disdain. Jin had no power to fight back in front of Bullet. He smashed his mask with just one punch. Even in human and beast form, he was no match. Bullet was very upset, coming. Ahem. How is it possible? How can someone like you become someone else's subordinate? Jin recognized Bullet. He had heard of his name as early as Roger's time, heir of the devil, Deadless Bullet. He thought he was killed after he failed to challenge Yak, but he did not expect to join the Ark Pirates. Who are you hitting? Do I know you very well? If I don't do my best, I will beat you to death. It's cruel. Bullet stomped his feet and rushed towards Jin quickly. His pitch-black fist was full of murderous intent, and Jin's pupils shrank into a dot. After receiving this punch, he would really die. Advertisement Anna had nothing to do, so she just threw stones on the ground, and if they hit one or the other, there would always be unlucky pirates who would be crushed to death by huge boulders falling from the sky. The Flying Six have already joined the battle, and the remnants of the Big Mom pirates such as Katakuri, Cracker, and Owen are fighting with them. It can't be said that they're crushed. Brachiosaurus Launcher. Quinn launched the Brachiosaurus head and tail, leaving the body in place and firing a powerful missile. The corners of Reiju's mouth rose slightly, urging the combat suit to easily dodge the attack. People from Germa. When Quinn saw Reiju's battlesuit, his eyes almost popped out, and he stared at Reiju's battlesuit intently, secretly amazed. Reiju chuckled. It's not a good habit to be distracted in battle. 6 Styles Dark Wrist. Reiju raised his pitch-black fist and slammed at Quinn's neck. The punch directly dented his neck, and Quinn screamed in pain. Damn stinky woman. Eat my plague bomb. Ha 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 ha. It's useless to dodge. My bullets are full of poison. Otherwise, why is lousy called a plague? Quinn laughed wildly and said, because the bullet has armament hockey attached, it is impossible for Reiju to fight hard, so he escaped by using elementalization. After the bullet hit the ground, it released a large amount of poisonous mist. No wonder Quinn said that it was useless to avoid it. Unless he ran away directly, he would definitely be poisoned. But Reiju is different. For those who use poison, Reiju is the nemesis. Reiju licked his tongue, smiled coquettishly and said to Quinn, yes, your poison smells very good. Do you have any more? Nani. This is not scientific. Quinn was terrified. His nose was running out of fright, and he rubbed his eyes in disbelief. He had never seen the scene in front of him in his life. The looming black mist behind Reiju continued to swallow the poisonous mist, and the turbid air became fresh at a speed visible to the naked eye. Nothing is impossible. Now it's me. The black fog behind Reiju shot into the sky. 208. Kaido of the Beasts, Dark Storm. The deep dark tornado is formed around Reiju and grows gradually. Any object sucked in will be crushed to pieces by gravity. Damn it, black light fire. Quinn frantically launched an attack towards the tornado, but once he got close, he would sink into the sea and be swallowed by darkness. There was no way to escape, so he had to rely on his body to resist. Quinn curled his huge body together, and the Brachiosaurus' slender neck blocked the vital parts, allowing himself to be swallowed by the storm. You're overreaching. Even if you're in ancient zone, it's impossible. Okay. Reiju's trash talking came to an abrupt end, because Quinn really resisted. Although he was a little embarrassed, they were all minor injuries and not fatal. Reiju still underestimated the pervert degree of the zone fruit ability user's body. I thought that at least the phantom beast species could reach that level, but I didn't expect an ancient species to have such defense and recovery power. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect that. Although I'm fat, I'm full of muscle funk inside. Quinn couldn't help but feel complacent when he saw that the massive attack didn't make him feel ashamed. He rapped and called Reiju an idiot. Reiju's face gradually pulled down. Don't be complacent, fat man, I haven't warmed up yet. Come on if you have the kind. Quinn was facing Reiju, wagging his long yellow tail like a child. Reiju covered his forehead, annoyed and funny, and seized the opportunity to grab Quinn's tail. Smash me. Brachiosaurus Quinn, who was tens of meters tall, left the ground directly, and was smashed by Reiju with his tail. Although Quinn couldn't be smashed to death, it relieved his anger. Quinn lay on the ground doubting her life. She thought that this little girl was relying on Logia's ability to think highly of herself, but she didn't expect her strength to be so strong. Could it be that Germa's people are all born with supernatural powers? Kaido. What's wrong with your body? What the hell did Vegapunk do to you? Yake looked at Kaido's exaggerated resilience and couldn't help clicking his tongue. He once asked Vegapunk if Kaido had been transformed by him. Vegapunk nodded at the time, but didn't say anything specifically. He was busy doing other things. Yake also forgot later, over this. Advertisement, Vegapunk. That B******************. Sooner or later, Lousy will crush him into a meatloaf. When Kaido heard Vegapunk's name, he became angry, and took advantage of Yake's speech to attack Yake directly, and beat Yake flying with a stick. Vegapunk is mine already, and you won't get a chance to meet him. Yake patted the dust on his body, and he seemed to be fine after being hit by Kaido. It was the first time that Kaido hated Zone's ability so much, and felt disgusted by it. After being hit by Yake 10 times, he finally managed to fight back, and you told me that it was just a layer of scraping. Seeing the subordinates gradually falling around him, Kaido couldn't help feeling a little anxious. Won't he be wiped out today? Impossible. Absolutely impossible, as long as the B**************** D Yake is hammered to death. F***K your yak. Lousy will hammer you first, then Vegapunk. King Kong Dysprosium, the spear of Gingnur, Waiguo. There was a fierce collision between the stick chi and the sword chi, and the aftermath of the battle was so blowing that people couldn't open their eyes. Anyway, There was no one within a kilometer of the two fighting, and this was the place where the two monsters fought. After one day, Kaido's subordinates were tidied up, and the most tenacious resistance was the two Kandans and Fei Liubao, but they quickly surrendered under the siege of the crowd, and honestly put on the exquisite sea-stone shackles. I really want to fight with the two of them. Bullet looked regretfully at the fierce battle between Kaido and Yake. The fighting genes in his body were constantly sending out signals, but he also knew that it was not good to intervene in other people's battles, so he could only watch the battle from a distance in pain. Don't worry, it will end soon, the captain has had enough. Rayleigh is indeed a person who knows Yake well, and she knows exactly what Yake thinks. Yake is undoubtedly a militant, but unfortunately there are not many powerful people in this world. It is hard to be able to fight heartily. Yake naturally wants to have fun, and it is meaningless to abuse food. He can only maintain it by beating Kaido. Life is like this. Yake is so handsome, this is the first time I have seen Yake fighting with others like this. Hancock sat on Salome, her proud figure made people dare not look directly at her. There was always only one person in her eyes, and that was Yake. Homies, who was previously created to aid in the battle, has had his soul energy taken away, and a soul blade has been created, which resides on Hancock's shawl. Advertisement, Kaido, you're dying. Yake looked at the panting Kaido and couldn't help laughing. If it was someone else, he might have to fight Kaido for 10 days and 10 nights, but Yake's every move is extremely deadly. Kaido not only has to concentrate on resisting Yake's ultimate move, but also consume a lot of physical strength to recover from the injury. However, the damage he caused to Yake was always limited, and his unique skills were directly dodged by Yake. Some ordinary attacks that were not painful, Yake could directly resist with his body, such as Thunder 8 trigrams and so on. There are always creatures on the ground who dare to face the majesty of Thunder. It seems that Lousy lost Tilda, ha ha ha, Whitebeard's ability. You are such a monster, Tilda? Thunder of the Void. The mace and Kaido's body were cut in half by an ultimate sword light. Before it was over, the huge ghost island was split into two, split from the center of the battle between the two. Don't be complacent, Lousy is immortal. If you dare, kill me. The thunder of chaos gradually condensed into the shape of a sword in Yake's hands. Yake held the thunder sword in his hand, purple thunder and lightning wandered around, and the air was full of burnt smell. Yake stared at Kaido who was getting closer, and raised the thunder sword calmly. With a loud shout, Kaido jumped into the air, and the black mace wrapped in black and red lightning struck Yake's head. I am Beast Kaido. Kaido wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, condensed the last strength of his body and attached it to the mace, and looked at Yake in the sky without squinting, full of fighting spirit, or in other words, the fighting spirit never faded. Yake slashed towards the sky with a knife, and a void crack opened on Yake's head, and there was chaos inside. Cut. Oh ah ah. The thunder dissipated. Yake walked to Kaido's side, he still had a breath. Yake raised his right hand high, and the purple thunder shone, lighting up the dim ghost island, and everyone's eyes gathered here. Do you know how Ant died? Kaido is numb. He recognizes Yake's strength, even his former Captain Rocks is not necessarily his opponent. The foundation he has run for most of his life has been destroyed, and he has persisted for one more day than Big Mom. This is the only thing that can give Owen comfort. 209. Landing on Wano Kuni at this time, Yake was like an old friend, sitting next to Kaido, and took out a jug of wine. Yeah, I won. Yake raised his head and drank up a jug of wine, wiped off the wine stains at the corner of his mouth, and took out a large bowl from the storage bar, which contained coconut wine, a special product of the Kingdom of God. Here, Kaido. Do you have any last words? Yake specially prepared it for Kaido. He and Kaido can't say any blood feud, the winner lives, the loser eats dust, that's all. Ola Tilda Lousy has a silly daughter, her name is Yamato, she is different from me, let her live. Kaido looked at Jacques with a complicated expression. He was dying, but his words were kind. In the end, what Kaido cared about in his heart turned out to be his only daughter. Jacques did not speak. Kaido also waited for Jacques without drinking any wine. Okay, I promise you, Kaido. Ton tilde. Kaido showed a relieved smile, picked up the coconut wine and drank it down, but his body was broken in two, and the wine mixed with blood flowed directly to the ground. Kaido didn't care and suddenly laughed. Ola Tilda Lousy is 100 beasts Kaido. After shouting a sentence, Kaido seemed to be exhausted, his vitality weakened rapidly, and he slowly closed his eyes. Brother, Jin and Quinn shouted loudly, scratching their noses with tears and snot, trying to break free from the seastone chains and run to meet the eldest brother for the last time. Anna, Reiju, come here, Captain, I understand. Reiju activated the ability directly without saying a word, and transferred Kaido's fruit ability to the fruit. A devil fruit wrapped in blue scales appeared in Reiju's hand and handed it to Yake. Yake took out a box, solemnly put Kaido's fruit in it, put it in the storage box, turned to Anna and said, bury him on this island. Anna nodded. After Yake cut off the ghost island, it was Anna who kept its balance and kept it from falling. Under Anna's control, Kaido's body slipped into the center of the gap, and Anna put together the separated ghost islands. Yake was not idle here, and walked in front of the two big billboards. You two, will you accompany your boss, or join me temporarily? Advertisement, kill me. Me too. The two big billboards chose to accompany Kaido to die with extreme rigidity, and Yake didn't say much politeness. He respected his personal choice and directly took the lives of the two. Dragon fruit, ancient species, Brachiosaurus form, dragon fruit, ancient species, pteranodon form, in hand. What about you? Yake tilted his head to look at Fei Liubao. He knew that Drake was an undercover agent. He was from Aokiji. Fuzzy Fu was once a member of CP. His experience is quite interesting. 13 years ago, he was hijacked by red-haired Shanks on the way to escort the ship transporting Rubber Fruit's world government. As a result, the fruit was taken away and the mission failed, so he was thrown into prison. One of them is now in the hands of Yake again. I would like to join. Drake first expressed his attitude. He originally joined the Beast's pirates as an undercover agent. Now that Kaido is gone, he still has the opportunity to join ARC. Maybe Marshal Aokiji will give him a promotion and a salary increase. Thinking about it, I am a little excited. It seems that he didn't know that Yake already knew that he was an undercover agent. The rest of Fei Liubao glared, as if reprimanding Drake for not living up to expectations. After a while, the others couldn't bear the pressure and chose to surrender and join the ARC pirates. After Luo took out his heart, they became the fourth team. The first team is Lao Sha, the second team is Jinbei, and the third team is Katakuri. They don't care who is the boss of Dayak. Anyway, when the great cause is completed, the ARC pirates will be disbanded. Reiju took out a small book and handed it to Yake. Yake, treasures, materials, minerals and other items have been counted and lucky to be transported to the war beast. Feel free to go to Wano-kuni. Yamato in shackles also walked up to Yake, who could barely reach her Daopai position. Are you Kaido's daughter Yamato? I'm a man, Yamato retorted angrily. All right. Yake didn't want to say too much. Although Yamato was big, Yake was disgusted by her thoughts. After untying her shackles, he didn't bother to care about her. Set off. Yake opened his hands. Hancock and Reiju retracted into Yake's arms very cooperatively and boarded the Eternal Truth together. As soon as the forces of the ARC pirates left, Ghost Island sank into the sea under Anna's control, as if it had never existed. Advertisement Wano-kuni, the capital of flowers. What did you say? Kaido's Ghost Island is gone. Orochi slapped the table suddenly, staring at his subordinates in disbelief. General Orochi, what I said is true. King Kaido Ming's Ghost Island has indeed sunk into the sea. I have seen it with my own eyes. Orochi felt bad, and walked around the room. He never expected that Kaido would lose. There were many pirates who challenged Kaido before, but Kaido never lost. He thought this time was just an ordinary pirate. Kaido lost? Kaido is the biggest backer for him to ascend to the position of general. If the rebel forces know that Kaido is dead, his head will be lost. Report. Orochi General, there is a group of flying monsters hovering over Wano-kuni, which has caused panic among the people. What? Take me to see it. Big Snake ran out of the room in a hurry. Captain, what shall we do? Yake looked at the people below, thoughtful. Landing directly suppressing the resistance forces. What kind of shit admiral army should I go to find? Yes. The war behemoth slowly landed above the ground, lowered the rope ladder, and the elite soldiers descended along the rope ladder, and those with better physical fitness jumped directly. The 9 Taiwan war behemoth directly surrounded the capital, and it wasn't surprising that the power of the Orochi was concentrated there. Stop, who is here? Why did you break into the capital of flowers? A few warriors with knives surrounded Luo and Bibo. Bibo immediately prepared for the military fist, screaming strangely, and asked Luo to back up a little to avoid accidental injury. Luo shook his head helplessly. The direct control ability cut several warriors in front of him in half, but they were still alive. The members of the ARC pirates who entered from all the entrances of the capital encountered similar situations, and they were all suppressed by force without accident, because Yake's goal was to gain power as quickly as possible and control the country. Yake took Reiju and Hancock into the capital, and Yake saw the big snake peeking at him at a glance. The corners of Yake's mouth rose slightly, and he jumped up holding Reiju and Hancock directly. Are you the ruler of this country? 210. Kazuki Hiyori? No, that's right, I'm Admiral Army Orochi. The big snake collapsed on the ground with a runny nose, and kept crawling backwards, its eyes full of horror. Although the big snake's head is big, Yake is still condescending. I am Yake, Kaido is dead, and now the country is taken over by me. No, stop joking. How could Kaido? Clang tilde. Yake blocked a sword aura, and Yake couldn't help but look at Kwang Shilong in the corner. The former Odin retainer, now working as a bodyguard under Orochi, is actually an undercover agent. No matter what he is, anyone who dares to sneak attack Yake will end up miserable. Yake, are you okay? Let my concubine kill him. Hancock looked distressed at the white mark on Yake's hand, and looked angrily at Kwang Shilong who made a sneak attack. No need, Hancock. How can a man let a woman stand out? Yake rubbed Hancock's soft pancreas, his figure suddenly disappeared, and Kwang Shilang's pupils shrank, sensing the danger behind him. If I'm not mistaken, you are from the Red Sheath 9 heroes. Yake pinched out the back of Kwang Shilang's neck, and no matter how hard he struggled, it was useless. No, don't be joking, I'm Kwang Shilang, the guard of General Orochi. Kwang Shilang was caught by the neck of fate, and it was difficult to speak, but he tried his best to deny his identity. Oh, is that so? I killed Kinemon, Raizo, Kanjuro, and a guy named Momonosuke, do you know them? Kwang Shilong stopped struggling at once, as if he died suddenly. What did you say? Kwang Shilong broke the defense directly, he forcibly broke free from Yake's clutches, and slashed at Yake crazily with his sword. Yake. In a word, let a man cut me 18 times. It's a pity that although Kwang Shilang's swordsmanship is superb, it is useless against Yake. No matter how strong the sword is, he can flick it away with one hand. On the contrary, Kwang Shilong who was punched by Yake almost fainted. Say hello to Odin for me down below. Yake took Kwangshalang's knife and stuck it in his heart with his backhand. Kwangshiro is wrong. His real name is Denjiro, the Red Sheath 9 heroes, and there is one less. Now it's your turn. Advertisement. Yake turned his gaze to Kurozumi, who was huddled in the corner, and he was so scared that he almost peed out. Don't kill me. I can give you whatever I want. Cooperate. Yes, we can cooperate. You will be Wanakuna's protector king, just like Kaido. Orochi's desire to survive was overwhelming, and he kowtowed to Yake non-stop on the ground. His forehead was covered with his own blood. Chaobao, you'd better die. Wano Kuni may need someone to govern, but that person is not you. Yake already had the answer to the candidate for hosting Wano Kuni. The big snake is too ugly. Damn it. Don't think you're going to eat me. Seeing that there was no hope, the Orochi transformed into Yamada no Orochi, with 8 ugly heads scattered all over the room. Hancock's disgusted eyes twitched. Reiju clasped his hands and continued to watch the show. What a phantom beast. It's a pity that it was eaten by a waste. Orochi's ability is his own phantom beast, but it is a pity that it was eaten by people who only know how to enjoy themselves. Bite you to death. The 8 snake heads opened their bloody mouths, and the stench in their mouths could be smelled from a distance. Yake sighed. That's it? Do you use phantom beasts to bite people? You are so weak that I can't even get up. Forget it, just go to die. Yake took Denjiro's samurai sword and chopped it off. 8 heads fell instantly, and the blood was like a fountain, and there were 8 more. Hancock left the room in order not to get his clothes dirty. Reiju released Uzumaki's gravitational force, absorbed the blood and sundries. The big snake degenerated into a human form, and its huge head fell beside him. Reiju, please. Yake took out a bunch of fruits and put them on the ground. The phantom beasts are definitely not to be missed. Soon, a purple devil fruit was freshly baked. The appearance of the fruit is similar to that of a pineapple. There are 6 stems and leaves on the top of the fruit, and the ends of the stems and leaves are rounded and triangular. Snake fruit, phantasmal beast, Yamada no Orochi form, in hand. Pass down the order, disperse the operations, control all areas of Haji as soon as possible, and disarm Wanakuna's resistance. Yake asked Reiju to distribute the order to each captain. Wanokuni said it was big or small, and there were many people in each area. In addition to the army of Orochi, there were also remnants of the Kazuki clan. Yake has no interest in Wanokuni. He just wants to let Wanokuni settle down as soon as possible, find out the seastone vein here, and take it away. Whoever wants Wanokuni wants it, but Yake doesn't want it anyway. 3 days later. The people of Wanokuni have become numb. In just 1 day, Wanokuni has changed its owner. It is still a pirate. There are many people who want to resist, but they will be suppressed immediately, even more fiercely than Kaido's people. Advertisement. If you can't resist, you can only accept it. The only good thing is that this group of pirates has no interest in opening a weapon factory, and they will not run rampant. Yake, there's an Oran named Xiaozi who wants to see you outside. She looks really good. Reiju teased Yake, who was the only one in the huge capital these days, sitting on the empty throne. Xiaozi, ha ha ha, let her in. Yake kissed Reiju and asked her to bring Xiaozi over. The clogs made a crisp sound when they stepped on the floor. Hiyori asked tremblingly, where's Kushiro? Why are you doing this? Yake tilted his head and looked at Kazuki Hiyori with interest. He is beautiful, but his temperament is not good, even Reiju can't compare. After Yake finished speaking, Kazuki Hiyori collapsed on the ground and sobbed. The eyes he looked at Yake had changed, with mixed sorrow and hatred. The sorrow was because the people he was familiar with were killed by the man in front of him. What he hated was that he was just a weak woman can't do anything about it. I saw Kazuki Hiyori looked at Yake angrily, took out a threat and prepared to commit suicide. You, what are you doing? It's impossible, Yake. Xiaozi looked at Yake in surprise. Such a scene made her a little surprised. In the past, when she came here to perform, the lights were not bright. Yake directly interrupted Kazuki Hiyori, which made her a little overwhelmed. How could she be exposed inexplicably? Master Yake, I am. Hiyori was a little excited, clutching his clothes tightly. Kiyoshiro? You mean Denjiro? He's gone down to see Odin, and with him are Momosuke, Kinemon, Raizo. I won't let you succeed. Don't act in front of me. I know you are Kazuki Odin's daughter, Kazuki Hiyori, right? How can there be so many reasons? If you kill it, you will kill it, but you still have some use. What are you looking for? Want to get Wanokuni back from me? 211. One Piece candidate Yake felt insulted to his personality. If you want to do lewd things, just let Robin change into one. Wouldn't that be the end of it? It doesn't seem to work. Robin didn't come this time, and there is no reference for changing. Ahem. Yake directly sucked Hiyori's ridiculous little knife into his hand, and looked at Hiyori playfully. Miss Hiyori, don't get excited. I actually want to tell you some good news. If you die, there will be no hope for Wanokuni. What do you mean? Kazuki Hiyori looked at Yake desperately, and secretly lamented his tragic fate in the future. I want you to be Wanokuna's admiral army. Yake played with the relatively exquisite knife in his hand, and tried to manicure himself. It was very useful. What did you say? This. Kazuki Hiyori couldn't understand. Are all pirates like this? So does Kaido, so does Yake. They all want to support a Wanokuni person as a puppet? You don't think I'm interested in Wanokuni, do you? To be honest, if it weren't for the rich seastone veins here, I would never come here. I hate it. But I've come here. After all, this is my territory. I don't want my people to waste time here. Therefore, Kazuki Hiyori is the most suitable candidate for the admiral soldier. Yake stood up from the seat, walked to Hiyori's side, put a knife against Hiyori's chin, and raised her head to look into Yake's eyes. So, are you willing or not? After you become the admiral army, Wanakuna's founding of the country is up to you, okay? That seems to be Odin's wish. Yake's words were like the whispers of the devil, breaking Hiyori's psychological defense line by word. Yes, she lurked in Wano-kuni and became the Oran, in order to restore the country one day and let Wano-kuni found the country. This is her father's last wish, and it is also the goal she strives for. It's just that in Wanakuna's general environment where men are superior to women, she still feels that she can't be the admiral army. Advertisement, I'm a weak woman, how could I? Shut up. What's wrong with women? Women can still rule the country, and my country is ruled by women. Yake said bluntly that the newcomers to Sky God Kingdom only know that there is a god, but they all think that this god is Robin, and Yake is almost becoming a mascot. How is that possible? Wano-kuni. These are not things you worry about. As long as you agree, I can let the rest of the Red Sheath 9 heroes go and let them assist you in ruling Wano-kuni. If you don't want to, go down and meet your family. As soon as Yake's voice changed, the threat in his hand lay across Hiyori's neck. Hiyori raised his head to look at Yake, and Yake naturally stared at Hiyori without showing any weakness, challenging without blinking. Yake said he won. After a long time, Hiyori bowed his head and knelt down on the ground. After all, Hiyori gave in. The future promised by Yake was too tempting for her to refuse, and she chose to forget the hatred. Since she couldn't resist, she could only accept it. Hiyori is confident that under his own governance, Wano-kuni will definitely get better. Yake asked Luo to take Raiha's heart and keep it as an insurance against being stabbed in the back by Rihei, although she had no chance. After Hiyori came to power, a tall woman was added as a bodyguard. That's right, it was Yamato. After hearing that Hiyori was Odin's daughter, she followed Hiyori without hesitation to guard her safety. Yamato and Hiyori, okay. The factions affiliated to Orochi were pulled out one by one. They were originally mods of the country. Wano-kuni would be better without them. Hiyori still has his own way. Wano-kuni is on the up and up, except the land has become potholed. Vegapunk came with a machine for detecting seastone veins, and detected more than a dozen large seastone veins on Wano-kuna's land. Yake took away the land without saying a word. Advertisement, is Yake and me the only 4 sea emperors left? Ha ha ha, this kid. Sengoku gritted his teeth and punched Garp in the face with an old punch. The surrounding recruits were not affected at all. Although it is rare for 2 old men to fight, fighting every day is nothing to watch. Yeah, that kid is really a monster. He has stood at the top of the sea in just 2 years. The captain is no longer his opponent. Shanks looked at the report in the newspaper and smiled helplessly, and there were jokes from the crew around him. Sengoku stood up, pointed at Garp, an old and disrespectful guy, and yelled at him. Aokiji stood by the window of the marshal's office watching Garp and Sengoku live PK and couldn't help laughing, remembering the news that Yake conveyed to him last night. As a result, Wano-kuni has more than a dozen huge deep pits. The seastone veins that Yake brought back to the kingdom of the god of the sky are at least more than 3,000 tons, and the seastone that can be mined is about 1,300 tons, which is enough to convert into 2 nuclear reactions, and device. Marine headquarters, recruit training camp. Garp held his nostrils and didn't care at all, dug out a lump of black stuff and bounced it on Sengoku by the way. Sengoku, we are all retirees now, you can't control me anymore. Shanks was known as the youngest 4 emperors at the time, and now he is considered a veteran. If it weren't for his old relationship with Yake, he might end up like Big Mom Kaido. Shanks was not angry either, and started playing around with his subordinates, which eventually turned into a drinking competition. After a while, several drunks became drunk. It's the final stage, I'm really curious who will be the final winner. Damn it. Garp UB *************. If you want to eat and buy it yourself, why grab mine? Anyway, after the seastone mine was hauled away, Yake never went to Wano-kuni again. It was nothing interesting. At most, he bought some local specialty clothes and brought them back for Robin and the others to wear. Both Big Mom and Kaido were pirates in the Rocks era. They dominated the sea for more than 10 years, and they all died in just a few months. There are not many old guys left in the old era. Young people are really scary. Captain Stupid, surrender early, otherwise, Yake will kill you ha 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 ha. Sengoku was leaning on the recliner and eating senbei, surrounded by marine recruits who were training. Garp snatched Sengoku's senbei at the right time, and poured it all into his mouth. New World, now New World has changed. 2 of the 4 sea emperors have died, plus Whitebeard, who died long ago, 3 have died. 212. Yake became the Pirate King. The Kingdom of God in the Sky, a research base. Dr. Vegapunk, how many days will it take for the seastone essence to be transformed? Yake is very concerned about this matter, and will come to Kong Kong as soon as he has time. Vegapunk looked at Yake helplessly. Mr. Yake, I can understand your mood, but I have told you several times, it will take 5 days, it will take 4 days now. Yake was invited out by Vegapunk, and the resentful eyes were really scary, so Yake had to go back to Shenju angrily. Captain, news of our attack on the Beast's pirates has leaked out. Robin walked into the room and said to Yake, who was lying on Jeyu, with a pile of documents in his hand. Yake said indifferently, let's leak it, anyway, world government's time is running out, is there any other news? The World Summit will be held in Marijoy soon, and the kings of the countries that joined the world government have already started to move, preparing to leave for the Holy Land for a meeting. The news from the Revolutionary Army is that they are preparing to declare war on the world government during the World Summit, setting off a wave of resistance against the world government all over the world. The other one is that the Straw Hat crew defeated the Golden Emperor Tezzolo. Tezzolo's golden city was gone, and he was sent to the big prison under the sea. Robin looked at the document in his hand and read the news that Yake might be interested in, and there was another news that he didn't know how to tell Yake. I see. Now that the Revolutionary Army is ready to go to war, I will add more fire. Send the Raftel exploration journey to Morgan's, and by the way, send him the photos. Forget it, forever send him the record pointer too. Yake smirked, wondering if people all over the world will go crazy after the news is released. Captain, I forgot to mention just now, someone out there has already called you a candidate for One Piece, right after you defeated Kaido. If you release the news again, you will be the real One Piece, so. Robin hesitated to speak, and looked at Yake innocently. Quick, close the island of Dengtian. Yake couldn't sit still for a while, he had seen the end of becoming the One Piece with his own eyes. Advertisement at that time, after Roger became the One Piece, there were boat after boat of pirates who came to trouble Roger. There were people of all levels, and they all chased and bit Roger like mad dogs, although they were defeated by Roger in the end. But I, Yake, absolutely do not want to have this experience. As long as the island of Ascension to the Sky is closed, those pirate groups will have nowhere to find Yake. Although Yake is not afraid of challenges, he finds it troublesome. Raftel's news must be sent out, so we can only do this first. Okay, Captain, I got it. Moi. Robin smiled and printed his red lips on Yake's face, and left immediately before Yake could react, otherwise it would take a while to leave. After a while, Yake's phone bug rang. It seemed that Robin's efficiency was very high. Yake knew that it was the Birdman Morgans when he saw the phone bug. Your Excellency Yake, it's amazing. You actually found Raftel. This is big news. Before Yake Moxamoxi finished speaking, Morgan's excited voice came over, making Yake phone bug almost throw it out. Morgans, don't be so excited, it's just a One Piece, it's not a big deal. Yark, Master of Versailles is officially launched. That's One Piece. The secret treasure that all pirates have been looking for since the beginning of the Great Pirate Era. As long as this news is published in the newspapers, you will be worthy of the name One Piece. Morgans' voice was very excited. The typical emperor was not in a hurry and the eunuchs were in a hurry. The excitement in his tone was hard to hide, because Yake only authorized him to report exclusively, so that his news agency would no longer have any competitors on the sea to match him. Okay, the location of Raftel must be marked, and there may be things I left there. Don't worry, leave it to me. Your Excellency Yake, I am also very interested in Raftel. After the position is revealed, there must be big news there. Hang up. Morgans laughed and hung up the phone. This melon is too big. He is going to write a report by himself, and stay up late. If he didn't stay up all night, he would be sorry for the news. After a day of passionate struggle, Morgans finally wrote a satisfactory report, and his eyes were already covered with bloodshot eyes. Finally finished writing. Come on, hurry up and print it for me. This time the price of the newspaper will be increased to 500 Baileys. The value of the newspaper skyrocketed, even 5 times the bounty of a civet cat. Advertisement, why are newspapers so expensive today? Are you extorting money? Straw Hat Crew had different expressions, and every word he said pierced Luffy's heart like a sharp arrow. Luffy's energy had been exhausted, and he turned into a salted fish. Lying on the deck with dull eyes, tears could not stop flow. HMPH, I want to see if today's news is worth the price. My dream will never come true again. Woo tilde. Nami looked at the sweaty newsbird, and the newsbird was also very helpless. The boss set the price at this price. It's fine if you don't buy it. Wait, you're not going to grab it, don't come here. Luffy, are you okay? You. Yake became the Pirate King. The One Piece was really found. I will never be able to become the One Piece. After Nami opened the newspaper, she knew that this newspaper was definitely worth it, just. Nami didn't know what to say for a while. Obviously the movement attracted everyone's attention, and they all gathered around. Luffy's voice was a little trembling, and he read out the headlines of the newspaper with difficulty. Tears flowed from the corners of his eyes unconsciously, and his whole body was instantly shrouded in low air pressure. Nami, what are you looking at? Let me see. In the end, Nami didn't make it difficult for the newsbird, and paid 500 Baileys with heartache, and won today's newspaper. The truth of history. One Piece was found. Zoro and Sanji looked at each other, speechless. They didn't know how to comfort Luffy. The new One Piece is born. One Piece reveals the secret. Chopper ran up to Luffy on short legs. Luffy, are you okay? You have to be strong. Luffy climbed over the railing like a monkey and got close to Nami, but when he saw the headline of the newspaper, Luffy froze.